as we return to our game. It has been quite some time. It has been quite some time for the stream as well, obviously, because couldn't have a game going on. I'll just lower the music a tad bit. It's overpowering my hearing so that I can't hear myself, which is a bit annoying. So here we go, as we return back to the game, as last time in Augon, Renewal of Shadow, the beginning of our humble adventure at the moment, you all continued your fight against the Ogre Necromancer, a deadly battle as she wielded horrid magic, throwing it at you and resurrecting the corpse of the... raising the corpse of the fallen ogre that had fought along her side as a zombie, as the wall of fire stood tall still, blocking you all off. The fight continued till the ogre zombie was felled, felling that ogre once again, until it was only the necromancer and some skeletons remaining. She dropped the wall of fire as she was looking incredibly hurt, as conjuring her dark powers, she launched a black tendril into Beryl and continued to drain the energy from her as she was healing and also damaging Beryl at the same time. The fight continued until you were all successfully able to fell the foul creature, bringing an end to her and her foul magics. As soon after she died... actually, the skeletons did not go down after she died. She died, and then you had to deal with the remaining skeletons. As all that was left of her after dying was the staff, because after her death, she began to bloat and fill with a foul purple energy, and then she exploded out, burning away at some of you, but not killing or harming anyone too badly. As the room exploded in chunks of ogre guts, and then she fell, and then the only thing remaining of the foul necromancer was the large... Staff is what it is for her, but it's more akin to like a tree trunk to you all. It's pretty big. Nonetheless, she was felled and the battle had ended. You all, a bit worse for wear, especially those of you that were on the other side of the firewall during majority of the fight, did not decide to take any sort of rest as you continued forward, and there was concern from Silas, and I'm not sure if there was anyone else, but Silas voiced concern over the individuals that possibly could be behind that door that the zombies were pounding on. As you went to look outside, the zombies were still there. Only the zombie ogre that was once there had fallen after the death of the ogre necromancer. But stating this concern for the individuals behind the door that could be hurt further, Silas deemed to continue on further. So you all did not get any sort of short or long rest in, and you continued on. The zombies were a non-issue as you went and battled against them, felling them rather easily. And then, heading up to the door, most of the group went up to the door, where Beryl went to go investigate the well. Beryl, investigating the well, found a tragic sight. At the bottom of the well, the corpse of what was a young boy, a child, splat against the ground, likely jumping in there in an attempt to escape what was going on, not realizing that, in fact, the water was a bit too shallow to even protect him from any sort of damage from the fall. He laid at the bottom of the well, very dead. Nonetheless, I believe, you can correct me if I'm wrong, Zach, but I think Beryl retrieved the corpse, correct, and brought it back up?
Yep.
Okay. So, as she did that, the rest of the group went towards the door that the zombies were banging on. As it swung open, behind the door sat a armored woman wielding a mace and a shield, still holding the mace up and the shield at the ready as well. Covered in wounds, guarding behind her what looked like an unconscious child, clearly one of the children that lived at the estate. Combative at first, she challenged all of you with questions, asking why you were here and who you were. As well, she had, I would say requested, but it was more of a demand. She demanded that you all submit to a zone of truth, a spell that she could cast, so that she could confirm whether you were telling the truth and that you were truly there to not harm her. You all accepted, those of you that were in the area, and you accepted the zone of truth, and you told her the truth. Turned out fine. You told her what you were there for. You were there to possibly save her if you could, and to take care of the ogre problem. Hearing that, she lowered her stance and didn't apologize, but acknowledged her rudeness, but also defended it, saying that it was a rudeness out of necessity, as she further explained that she believes that there was something more going on in this attack on the manor, as she doesn't believe there was enough ogres or half-ogres that to have been responsible for the entire felling of everyone that had was alive in the vicinity, in the area. So she aired those concerns, and a bit, what's the word I'm looking for? Perceptively, some of you theorized that Kieran, the paladin you had met before, could be involved, saying that he was acting somewhat suspicious and, using some prior information you had gotten to say that he could have there could be foul play involved. And the judge, whose name was, I'll give you the name again, because I'm sure it's, many of you have forgotten by this point, because it has been a while. Not forgotten, but not immediately recalled. It's Judge Madeline Lloyd, judge of the Church of, Temple of Order, I don't remember. Temple of Order.
Minor comment. I thought it was Floyd with
No, it's Lloyd. It is Judge Madeline Lloyd.
Okay.
Can we get her name spelling?
Sure. They're very similar sounding names, so I can't blame you for hearing Floyd, though, but it does say Lloyd on my, on the character sheet, so...
I mean, I believe you.
I haven't changed it in a while, but... Okay, so there's the name for her. So... She, told her side of the story, and it was, fairly straightforward. She'd come to investigate, in fact, off of a complaint by, God, I'm blanking on his name, actually. Gunman from town, Mr.
Elliot Hawkins.
Elliot Hawkins. Thank you, Mr. Hawkins. She had come to investigate from a complaint from Mr. Hawkins, as apparently the Lord had confiscated his tools, which you all know to be true, as Josie had met with the disgruntled Hawkins, and he had explained that his tools were very much taken by the Lord. And she had come to investigate the complaint and met with the Lord's wife and discussed some things, and then the attack happened. She got separated from the Lord's wife and from most of the group, but defended the young daughter as best as she could, and ended up hiding inside the back pantry-like area. But voicing her concerns, she opted that if you were here to take things from the vault as per your arrangement, you needed to investigate upstairs anyway, so she was on board with it. She was not rushing you all to not do such things and get out of there, but she was concerned about the young injured child, to say the least. As you were exiting the room, I believe it was Astrid, but I don't know. Someone else with a higher passive perception might have spotted it. I know that I think Astrid, because she was the one who saw she saw this first one. I don't know if she saw the one in the next room, but in the room that what's up?
It was Astrid.
Okay, so in the room with Madeline and the young child, there was a stirring of the shadow, almost as if a shadow had moved, and in that room it looked like the room was lacking a shadow afterwards, as if one of the shadows of the room was just completely gone. Confused and a bit suspicious of this, Astrid made this known to everyone before you all exited out of the area and opted to head up the stairs. Again, not taking any precautions for arrest or anything like that. Not seeing really a reason to. There was a placid quiet to the entire manor. As you made it up the stairs, you did a quick sweep of the upstairs area, finding nothing in the rooms of the side. In most of the rooms up there, actually, you found nothing in all of the rooms except for one. In the lords and ladies' in their bedroom, you had found it was ransacked and torn through, but as well. No, did you find it ransacked? I don't remember.
Mm-hmm.
No, it was ransacked, but there was some indications that someone had done something to try and make this look more like a ransacking instead of such a search. Some of you were able to observe. And you made your way back and used the Lord's key. In fact, I forgot to talk about the key. The Lord's key, when picked up by Silas, actually harmed him. It burned his hand. But afterwards, when Wiz attempted to pick it up after it was in his mage hand and he touched it, it didn't burn Wiz or anything like that. But nonetheless, you approached the door and you unlocked it. And as you did, Kieran Dodson made his way up the stairs and congratulated and thanked you all for getting the door open. As flanking him on the side, two shadow-like spectral undead appeared before him. As he made his point very clear, he was involved with the massacre that had occurred here. He was hired by someone to do this and worked with the ogres. He gave no information about who hired him or anything like that, saying that it was irrelevant and that it was not, relevant for your all interests. But he as well offered you all a deal that if you just wiped your hand clean, did not involve yourself with what was about to happen next, you could take whatever you want from the vault. He was going to kill the judge and then take something from the vault, and then you all... And then you all could take whatever you want from there, and he would leave. Despite the tempting nature of the offer, perhaps, most people seemed to not be enticed by it, especially Carolina, who was visibly disgusted at the offer, and visibly disgusted by Silas's ploy, his attempt to trick Kieran into believing that he wanted to take the offer by agreeing to it and trying to play into it. In fact, it seemed as like Carolina was more tricked than Kieran was, as Kieran was very suspicious of Silas's offer, it seemed, and said that he would not harm Silas, but also said that Silas needed to unarm and stand in the corner where he could see him while he took care of what needed to be took care of. Seeing the ploy was not going to work, Silas went to attack Kieran. Prepared for such, Kieran struck back, and the fight broke out, starting with Silas falling to the ground unconscious, and then ultimately being killed by Dodson as it arrived to his turn, as he maliciously, not maliciously even, as he coldly and brutally put an end to Silas's life before he could even get a final word in, and then turned to finish the rest of you off. The fight, however, did not go the way he wanted it to for the rest of the duration, as the judge, despite being severely weakened, was able to land incredible hits on him, and you all were not going down as easy as he would like. So, seeing this as a losing battle, he decided that this was not worth dying for and fled, leaving his two shadow undead to block the path he took as you all fought against them. During the fight, the judge exclaimed loudly that someone needs to go inside the vault and find a diamond so that she could resurrect Silas. And you all did so. Someone rushed in the vault. It could have, I think it was Astrid, who rushed in, fetched the diamond, and then ran back out. And then quickly after she got it back, the judge was able to resurrect Silas, bringing him back to life, restoring him from death. But not before Silas saw a strange vision while he was dead. A completely blackened landscape as if a empty black void, where he sat for but a moment until petals of flowers began to rain down upon him, gently touching his head, as a voice told him that this would not be where he ended. And then he returned back to life. We pick session back up seconds, maybe minutes, after the death and resurrection of Silas. As I believe Beryl had collapsed to the ground crying. I don't remember what everyone else was doing. As we pick up with a somber atmosphere back in that room once more. I'm not going to move you guys back to the page where it happened because there's no fighting happening anymore, so you can just thoroughly go Theater of the Mind. As we pick back up seconds after the fight, Silas, you have just been returned to life, and what do you all do?
After the hug from Josie, Silas just he hugs her back and briefly, and then just heads into the vault.
Stands up and goes into the vault.
I would make sure well, no, I would head into the vault as well.
Okay. Rest of you?
I guess we're not going to talk about that, huh? Okay. And I'd follow into the vault.
Farrell, a lot happened, and I understand you're upset, but can you specify what you're upset about so I can tailor my response to that?
Sorry.
It's okay.
That was very good.
There's like 12 things. I don't know which one it is.
Stop. Fuck. Hang on.
Dang.
That was a lot, and I'm not really used to. She sort of like gestures with her head toward the spot where Silas died. That sort of thing. Does that happen a lot around here?
I'm not sure. I'm as much of a fish out of water here as you are, but he's alright. The diamond worked. He seems fine enough to immediately be looking for material gains, so I don't think we need to worry. He seems to be insane and sound mind.
What was he trying to do? I don't understand. Why would he... That was very scary.
It was very scary, yes, I agree. But it's over.
But it's not that... That nasty man's still out there. He could be doing anything.
That's true, but we're going to report him, and people will be on the lookout for him, and someone more equipped to deal with his power level will be sent to fetch him, I'm sure.
All right. So what do we do now?
Well, first we need to get out of this mansion, which means we need to pick our prizes from the vault. Would you like to come do that with me?
I don't really like the tone of that, but I don't want to sit here alone, so... Alright.
Wonderful.
And I'll stand up.
Okay.
And Astrid will go into the vault.
Carolina, Wiz, the two of you, are you doing anything, or are you just going into the vaults?
Yeah, no, I was just going into the vault.
Same.
Okay. Sorry, I'm just trying to fix Rogue's cam right now because it's a bit not set up well. There we go. That's a bit better. Okay. Okay. So all of you are heading in. Silas, as you are heading in. Sorry, Josie, did you follow Silas in?
No, she would have followed in after listening in on Beryl and Astrid.
Okay. So the judge would have immediately gotten up and started heading in. So Silas, you're heading in quickly after her. And as you enter in, she would be saying along the way, she would go, "Don't exert yourself too much walking around. I do not have another one of those to do that trick again." You are at one, I think not, you are at 1 hit point currently, so that's why she says
I got
that.
healed by Josie.
Did you? Okay, my bad. Well, still probably look pretty bad, so...
Oh yeah, I'm at 12. I'm
yeah.
bloodied
So
still.
she still says that.
Silas will just look over to him. I appreciate the fact that you cared enough to resurrect me. I'm no worse for wear at this point than anyone else.
It was
It's
clear...
just the other thing to leave.
It was clear after what you did that you were not attempting to sell people out to try and get gain there. So, you died trying to kill the murderer. There was no reason not to resurrect you. I know you had been given a task by dear Raven Queen priest at the temple. I think you should follow my suggestion here. If you go return to retrieve a reward, you shouldn't be there when the reward is given.
I gathered that would be the case.
Legally, there's nothing she could do to harm you in any sort of way, nor is there anything any Raven Queen zealot could do to harm you. But they will
Legally.
not be approving of you. Yes, the law prevents people from randomly murdering each other simply because they have religious differences. Whether they say it's a defiance of natural law or not.
I think the Paladin Kieran shows that the law discourages it, doesn't prevent it.
The Paladin Kieran is clearly a deranged individual. A sociopath at best. The law will deal with him. He will find nowhere that he can rest easy after I am able to report what he's done.
It's also not that, as he goes back to looking over the items.
Sure. As you all enter the vault, as you find yourself in a large, like I said, square room that has several shelves about that are covered in like knickknacks and other sorts of like materials and such, even some like nothing of note like alchemical materials and such, nothing like of noteworthy, just basic components and such. But there are materials mostly on the shelves and smaller items. The juicier stuff, the more interesting items that exude this powerful magic, come from these items that are all inside what look like glass cases that are stood atop a wood platform and then a glass case. In front of each of the glass cases and platforms, there is a plaque that reads with a name and the description of the item, saying exactly what the items does and such forward. This would be the time when all of you get your stuff, and you know exactly what they do because you can read the plaques and see what they do. Except for you, Isaac. Isaac, as you look around the room, scanning over whatever items would be interesting to you, I was going to describe this anyway, whether you picked the item or not, but because you picked it, it works out. As your eyes linger on what look like a rod made of purplish blue... Let me just double check my description. I want to be positive of this. A large metal rod with a purple crystal inserted atop it, you see. As you gaze upon that, you feel magic emanate off of it that almost draws you specifically in. Like there's some sort of connection to the item. Like you feel like you recognize the energies as you look upon it. And this item is the only one that has no plaque and no name on it. And all of you, those of you with magical capabilities, sense great magic coming from all of the items except for this one. This one has weaker magics, and you can't really see anything particularly special about it. The one that Isaac is looking at.
So I take it that purple color is pretty familiar.
The purple is familiar, and the energy feeling is familiar. It's almost like the energy's reaching out and caressing you, and it's sort of drawing you in.
Okay, I let myself be drawn into it.
Mm-hmm. You want to take it out?
I take it out and look it over.
Okay. It's a large metal rod about arm's length.
Yeah, you described it.
Purple crystal atop. And as you look at it, the crystal glows a faint glow, the purple crystal atop. And you feel a desire, not a compulsion like it's demanding that you do this, but you feel like you want to hold on to this thing and merge your energies with it. For quite a while, you just feel like you want to almost meditate with the item. But it's not demanding you do anything. Like, it's not forcing you.
I say under my breath, purple used to be my favorite color. And I hold on to it, and I look deep into the crystal, and I go, all right, I get your message.
Okay. Does anyone need a description of their item, particularly? Aside from, his, which had some sort of magic to it. Though, Astrid, seeing the, loot and reading the name Kia Loot, you can roll a history check if you wish. As the name sounds somewhat familiar. Yeah, you can't exactly nail it, but, the name sounds familiar. You believe that, yeah, you can be surprised. 19's not enough for some things. But you know the name, you've heard the name Kia before. It's the name of a famous bard, but you can't recall any, further details about her aside from that she was a bard and that she was a woman. But because of recalling that, you are aware due to your study as a bard, that items such as these exist in the world. That these instruments are bardic instruments that are named after like world famous bards and enchanted with instructions per those bards before they were mass produced as magical items and such. but as you're all looking about the room and getting the items you need to get, the judge chimes up and goes, "What else do you need to find in here? What else did you need?"
The gun stuff?
Well, I'm sure it's in here somewhere if you look for it. Is that it?
A deed to the house.
That should be easy to find. It'll likely be in one of these chests at the back, as she starts walking over toward the chests in the back.
I have one question. To the judge.
Yep.
You think there's anything in here that Kieran would be after?
Well,
That comes to mind?
Well, he explicitly confirmed it, but I don't know what he was after. I have no idea.
Do you know anything in this vault that could, that someone could desire? Besides, items here?
She starts looking around. I don't know. I don't know all of the things he has in here. I'll give her a perception check. Maybe she'll spot something. Wow, 21. As she looks around, her eyes linger for a moment on what looks like a large, bottle of what is very clearly blood, from a red color, but the blood is mixed with this sort of, black, viscous liquid that is also, lining inside of it as well. As her eyes linger on it for a moment, and there's a plaque under it, that reads, vampire blood, as she would go. I don't know, the man was looking for something. Maybe he was looking for vampire blood or some of the alchemical components in here. He's some nefarious villain, so...
If that's the case, then I would say maybe you to take that back to the temple, just to keep it out of, well, since no one's here, to keep it out of the hands of someone who could use that.
We're going to lock the door on the way out, and then since the estate has been hit as hard as it is, we are going to confiscate the items within the vault until proper heirs can be found and distributed back to them.
That's really just what I was worried about, so that's good.
Yes, Kieran was clear that he could not get the door open with the key himself, so we have nothing to worry about there. We shouldn't, at the very least. But it's just a shot in the dark, the vampire blood. I saw vampire blood, and I thought of how contemptible that man was, and how contemptible of a creature a vampire is. And I went, maybe. There are plenty of odd things in here. The Lord was a collector of sorts. He would just take things, not because he particularly wanted them, but particularly because they were interesting to him. A bit of a hoarder, you could say.
I knew a few people like that.
Is there anything in the vault that is meant to draw the eye? Is there something in the center or anything like that?
There are there are busts and jewelry and such. Immediately you can see there is a rather well-made bust of the Queen of Destin, actually, that sits in the middle. That is set up rather reverently, obviously with a lot of respect and a lot of care. Like, it's the main centerpiece of the room, this bust.
Mm-hmm.
And it depicts her, just bust up, It's a bust.
Bust up.
It's a bust. I don't know why I thought I needed to explain that. But sat on the side of the bust, on the side of the pedestal in front of it, there is also a painting that looks similar of the Queen, that looks similar to the one you saw inside the Temple of Law. Temple of Order, sorry.
Okay.
But aside from that, there are, like, gemstones, there are pieces of jewelry, non-magical wares, such and such, you know, that look rather eye-catching and such.
I'm assuming the jewelry is off limits.
You are here to take one item. And there is at least one surviving heir. It would be unkind to not make it so that she could at least get the last of her father's possessions that you all aren't taking.
Apologize for asking.
If you worry about compensation aside from the items, she turns to look to you all. I do not know what the temple told you, but I am not one to let a job go unpaid, and I do not find what you have taken to be worthy enough pay. So do not worry about that. I will make sure that each of you is compensated for your efforts.
I'll just nod to her and continue looking around the room until we're ready to leave.
Okay. Josie, are you scanning around trying to find what you would believe to be the tools?
Yes.
Okay. And then are any of you going with her to the chest to look for the deed?
Astral, yeah.
Okay. So Josie, you can give me a perception roll first, as you know, you're looking around. Okay. Yeah, it doesn't take you very long. You spot what looks like a metal container that has carved in the side of it in a very dwarven sort of fashion what looks like a symbol that looks akin to a small rifle carved in the side of it. You go over to it, and I'd imagine you'd try and open it up. And in fact, it is locked. As you kind of jingle it, you look at the front, there's a chained, there's a lock on the front of it. But it feels heavy, which you would expect from the box. And if you give it, like, even a little, like, jingle, you hear, like,
I was gonna
bits.
say, if I shake it.
Yeah, you hear, like, many bits going around inside of it, similar to what you'd expect from, like, a toolbox. So, you can't see inside of it, but you can make a fairly educated guess, but, you know.
I'm just gonna hedge my bets and hoist it up.
Okay.
Would you like a closer look, sister?
No, it's not mine.
Roll a strength check. It's not a high DC, but it is a bit heavy. You have a bit of trouble getting it up at first, but after, a couple seconds, you're able to hoist it up and get it in a comfortable position carrying it. But it's pretty heavy. You can tell there's something weighing it down in there.
Yeah, this is probably it.
As those of you that go investigate with the judge, she goes over and kneels down in front of the chest directly in the middle of the room first as she goes to open it. As she does, she presses up, she tries to lift it open and then stops as it does not open and goes, "It's locked." Who has the key?
The one to the vault?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
You'll offer it out to her, and she'll take it and go, "Thank you." As she'll try the key on the chest, as she turns it, and it does unlock as she opens it up. And she goes to go looking through. Any of you that are with her can either do a roll separate yourself, or give her advantage with the help action, as she's doing an investigation check to try and find the deed.
Help action.
Does it help action? Okay. Alright. As Wiz assists her looking in as she goes to check. What is her investigation? That's not terrible. Doesn't have proficiency. Wiz, with your assistance, you're able to keep an eye in while she's digging through so you can spot if anything looks like a piece of paper. And as she digs through, you spot what looks like the side of a piece of parchment. Pointing it out to her, she goes and she takes it out as the deed to the manor is revealed. As she goes, "Yes, thank you for your assistance," as she folds it up and stands and looks around the room, trying to see anyone who's looking better than her in terms of health-wise. So let me see if there's anyone who looks better than her, because she looks fucking bad. Wow, everyone except for Silas looks consistently bad. And some of you look way worse than her, too. No, sorry, not Silas, Isaac. Why did I say Silas? That would be funny. As she... As she looks to you, Isaac.
Pretty sure Silas doesn't look too good.
No, she doesn't. He does not. As she looks to you, Isaac, and she offers it out to you, going, "I feel like I could drop over dead at any moment now, but this piece of paper is important, so I'm giving it to you, as you look better than most people here now, in case something happens."
Oh, really? I mean, I haven't shaved in a little bit, but... Oh.
It was not.
Oh, okay.
It was not
Indeed.
about your physical appearance. It was about your health right now.
Oh, I understand. I will take this. Do not worry.
In terms of physical appearance, I do not think you need to shave. You look fine.
Oh, thank you.
The look Rogue gave there after that was funny. As she actually clutches her side after handing it over, and as some more blood gushes out, as she goes, "This has not been a pleasant past few days." Well, have you all gathered what you needed to take? Alright then. I would not argue with any of you if you wanted to take an hour before continuing back to the town.
No offense, but are you gonna last an hour?
I will not die. I have lasted a couple days now. Another hour will not kill me.
How much, how far away is the town?
Town's about a half hour away. I think that's what I said at the very least. The first session you guys arrived here.
I mean, of course I can use the hour, but if, I mean, if it's only like a half hour away, I mean, you could, leave.
Yeah, but what if Dodson is waiting for us just outside?
That's what I was thinking.
Also, we were jumped by skeletons on the way into town the first time.
Yeah. So it might be best for us to take an hour.
I think that's a smart idea.
I will not argue against it. I would suggest that if we take the hour, we take it in the vault, because it is the more defensible position, and the door can be shut and locked if something happens.
Agreed.
Alright. This will give you time to attune to whatever magic item you've taken anyway. As she, goes and sits, with her back up against the wall and lays, back with it. Setting her mace, like in a resting position at her side with her hand still on it and her shield, just laying bare.
Where was the little girl this whole time?
The little girl was on the floating disc. The Tender's
Okay.
floating disc, and it would, it can move, right?
Yes.
So I imagine you would have had it float into the vault with you all?
Yes.
Okay, so it's in. So she's in the vault right now with all of you, still unconscious.
Still unconscious.
Yes, it seems like she will be out for a while.
And Astrid will play Song of Rest.
Okay.
Get an extra 4.
All right. So, as the hour is going by, is anyone going to attune to their item? Isaac, I know it's deeming for you to merge energies with it. So, are you going to be doing that during the hour?
Oh yeah, yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
Is anyone else going to attune to their item during the hour?
I will.
Can I do Song of Rest
Same.
and Attune, or do I need to pick?
You can do Song of Rest and attune.
I don't
Okay,
think
no.
mine requires attunement.
The Brutal Maclete? I don't think
Just uncommon.
it does.
Uncommon magic longsword.
Let me double check. Let me double check my version of it here, just to make sure, but I think you're correct. Nope, no attunement acquired for that.
Cool. Okay. God, having a D12 hit die is awesome.
Silas, are you attuning? Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So, during, the hour, though, I'm gonna ask that those of you proficient with Arcana, roll me an Arcana check, as the time is passing. And Beryl, due to your Fey connection and connection you have with magic, you can actually roll,
Advantage.
a Wisdom check.
Oh,
In fact, to see if you notice something.
well, because I am proficient in Arcana.
Are you proficient in
We-
Arcana? Okay, then
We did a custom thing. Remember?
Yes, you're correct. You're correct. You can roll Arcana. It's not gonna have the advantage bonus, but it's the normal Arcana that we roll.
All right, so it's just an 11.
Yeah. Okay. An 11.
Yeah, I gain proficiency, and I can use Constitution instead of Intelligence.
But Wiz, Isaac, those are good. Silas is very good, and Astrid is very good. During the rest, as all of you are recovering your wounds and, feeling a bit better, noticeably you're healing. The hour goes by and the judge does not noticeably heal even a little bit, as she still sits there incredibly wounded, gushing blood occasionally. And those of you who rolled particularly high, so Astrid, Silas, Isaac, and Wiz, everyone except for Beryl, actually, unfortunately, who rolled. When you look over to her, you sense magic emanating off of her, but not magic that you have seen her use before, not like her divine magic that she's been using. You sense something more malicious and something more malignant that is just leaking off of her. Particularly focused around her wounds, but like an aura around her and also just covering like the wounds on her.
She did tell us that she was cursed. I
That
believe.
she did. She did say that, if that's the case.
Okay. Yeah.
I didn't know if she said it or
Good.
not, but this is me. Yeah. Go ahead.
Judge Lloyd,
Yeah, I think she did.
Yes.
I don't know that this will actually do anything, but would you allow me to attempt?
What are you going to try and do?
Cast a spell on you and see if it renders whatever ill magics are on you from what they're doing.
What spell?
Protection magic. Good and evil. Protection, good and evil. How it is.
She would know the spell, so let me read it to see if she would know if it'll help or not, because she'd be able to. Does she have the spell? She does, actually, too. She's like... Creatures of those types have disadvantage against the target. The target can also be charmed, frightened, or possessed by them. If the target's already charmed, frightened, or possessed, the target advantage on a new saving roll for relevant effect. Do you have the holy water and powdered silver?
I have the arcane focus that supplies the material components.
There's
Oh,
a-
it consumes.
it consumes,
Never mind.
that's why.
I don't think I've even ever enforced that before.
No, I'm not.
no, I
I'm not.
don't.
I'm not enforcing that either because I don't believe in that rule. I think that protection for good and evil shouldn't have a consume component, quite frankly. And I thought about it for a second. I've never.
I didn't realize it was there.
I'll give you an intelligence check
Okay.
as you do it. And if you do well on it, she will get a saving throw at advantage. Okay. As you go and you touch her and exert your magic onto her, as it begins to flow, your arcane magic flows, covering the parts of the magic that are covering her wounds. As let's give her a saving throw, as she will get a charisma saving throw for this. Sorry, that's not with this, it's wisdom. I should have my calculator open already. I fucked up, though. Alright, as your spell goes off and as she makes the saving throw, you see... no, you feel the malignant magic that was covering her. All of you who rolled before... except for Beryl, you feel the malignant magic that was covering her begin to slowly fade, but it still seems like it's affecting her at least for a bit longer.
But it's
fading as she goes.
Okay.
It appears you've at least done something, then I'll be able to patch myself up a bit once this fully fades. Thank you.
Silas Raval repays his debts.
And I'll even give her 2 hit die she can roll. But then everything else will be her spells. Okay. That's a bad roll. That's supposed to add Constitution, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
She gets 4 as well from the Song of Rest.
Okay. Alright. Are any of you doing anything else aside from those of you who are tuning, doing anything else during the long rest? Okay.
I'm attuning and meditating with my,
Yes, you're exchanging energies with it.
Yes.
It's like a weird makeout session. With a staff, or a rod, technically.
Somehow that wording makes it worse.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, Isaac, you want a room?
As all of you roll your hit die, and the hour goes by without anything eventful or bad happening. As Isaac, upon completing the hour, you feel the exchanging of energy stop. And all the energy that you feel now is an energy that is your own. No longer does energy come from the staff from the rod into you. Instead, the rod is filled with energy that is both yours and its now. As if you share the same energy. And you see the crystal glow just slightly brighter afterward. As you are attuned to the item now, and as soon as it happens, your mind rushes with information, and you learn exactly what the item does.
And I know its name and
Yes.
everything. Does it give me any history on itself?
Roll me a charisma check. We'll see how good the charisma check is, and if it's a decent one, you might not have to roll a sanity saving throw. Okay. Roll me a sanity saving throw.
Oof.
Isaac, your mind rushes with information as, maddeningly, you see flashes of images that you cannot make sense of. However, attempting to, your curious mind tries to fight back against it to discern what you can. Instead, you are only able to see an infinite vastness, a realm entirely of crystalline corridors, never-ending, running down them like a rat trapped in a maze. As you attempt to digest this knowledge and take it in, you unfortunately are not able to gain anything from it. As you take, it's not a lot.
Take the rod.
You take
For a
three.
nice
You
dinner.
take 3 psychic damage as blood begins trickling down your nose, and your eyes, for a moment, flicker, rolling back into your head. To all of you that see Isaac with the item, you'd all see the trickling of the blood, and then his eyes rolling back into his head for a moment, and then you're quickly snapped back out of it, Isaac.
Ooh, it's cold up here, guys. The dryness makes my nose bleed.
Mr. Darrow, are you alright?
Yeah, no, I'm good. It's
No
the
one
cold.
inside.
Need a nap, Praxmore?
Fuck.
Yeah, it checks out.
Yeah, look at him. He's fine, guys.
Can I
Okay.
insight check him?
Yeah, those of you that want to insight can insight.
Fuck!
I don't know why you guys can't get it. It's just really cold and dry in here.
I mean,
Needs a
I-
humidifier.
Hang on.
Is that what it is, Anthony?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
I have advantage. I have advantage on my insight check.
Okay. Well, I have some bad news for you, James. Advantage or not, you would have gotten it anyway, so you didn't need to tell me that,
Okay.
fool. I don't know why that was bad news. I just wanted to make it feel like you failed for a moment, so you could add it to the list. No, okay, that was mean. Jesus Christ, what is wrong with me?
God. Love you, James.
Okay, sorry about that. So, everyone aside from Silas and Beryl and Astrid, yeah, this guy's not fine. His eyes just rolled into the back of his head, and he had his nose bleed. Hey, why did the thing just fuck up? Did someone leave?
Rogue left.
Rogue's camera.
I was about to say.
No. Gonna have to wait for Rogue for a minute. Give him a bit.
He burbed.
That's why I just blocked my camera with a post-it note.
That's why I let you just.
Am I echoing Andrew still?
No, that's all solved. I think Anthony muted himself. Now there's like half Ben in James's.
Yep, I know,
Okay.
because he left. Yep.
So Ben gets 2 portraits.
I'll also just be right back for a second.
Let's see if I
all
can...
the portraits is mine.
Let's see if I can... Let's take... I guess we're just gonna
Can we
take
take a 5?
We're gonna take a 5 right now.
Okay,
When we get back, we're gonna go back and cover what I just covered.
Yeah.
As-
Tiny corner James is the best.
We'll take a
James.
5-minute break. Ben, are you still here? Right now?
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to ask you to take one for the team. Dylan says here he'll donate $500 USD if you turn into an ogre. If Silas turns into an ogre.
All
That's
right.
a good deal.
I'll be right back.
After the money is donated.
After
it's
the
done.
money's cleared, well, all right, Dylan. We got. If you donate 500 USD, it'll happen. It has to be. He'll do it after. But we're gonna call 5-minute break now. So. back to where we were. All right, as I was saying, so all of you except for Beryl, Silas, and Astrid, that rolled an insight check. Yeah, he's clearly not okay. The man just had had his nose bleed and his eyes rolled back in his head. He is not very convincing that he is okay. It seems like he is being less than truthful. So what do you all do?
I'm like dabbing like the blood with a handkerchief, just like trying to like get it to stop. Like, yeah, I'm dabbing, dabbing the blood.
That's how you get the blood into your shirt.
Yes.
So, you gonna explain what happened just now?
Telling you, dude. Like, I got nosebleeds. I'm not used to the cold. I'm a Praxmore kid.
Okay. So the cold also makes your eyes roll to the back of your head?
I had a sneeze.
Uh-huh. Sneezing makes your eyes roll to the back of your head?
I mean, you don't know me.
Like,
you know, you gotta like look up to like see the light. That's what was happening.
the light?
Yeah, you know, like when you look up to see light so you can sneeze. Everybody knows that, right?
Yeah. But if your eyes are in the back of your head, you're not looking at the light, Isaac.
Okay, like maybe I overshot it.
Yeah. I feel like this is a normal thing with you, though. This isn't the first time you've been, for lack of a better term, reckless. And I don't want to have to worry about.
There's Carolina, trust me, there's nothing to worry about. I am fine. I appreciate your current concern. Trust me, I honestly do. But I am a grown man, and
Oh, he's pulling out the grown man card.
I was literally about to say the same exact thing. Holy shit. Holy shit.
I know my body pretty well. I'm just saying.
I mean, if you're saying, if what you're saying is true, I mean, you're right. You're a big, strong man. What do I know, right?
I didn't say I was strong.
You're grown though.
I am grown. I am past my prime.
That's good. I'll leave it at this. Just take better care of yourself.
I appreciate that.
Nosebleeds could attract something. So.
Like bears.
Yeah, I'm
Shit.
sure.
All right, that I will keep an eye on.
When my nose would bleed, I just put ice on it and try to freeze all the blood in my head.
Yeah, but I mean, if the cold is making him have nosebleeds, that might kill him.
No, you go extra cold.
Josie, sweetheart, don't do that anymore, please.
It definitely works. I'm just saying.
I just have to say, James, Carolina responding to that with going, "Oh, but if he did that, he would die because he gets it because of the cold." Instead of, excuse me, you tried to freeze the blood in your head? That's...
Take one thing at a time, alright?
Okay, fair enough.
Wait,
Fuck.
this is a real question. Has no one ever heard the thing where you're supposed to put an ice cube under your top lip to stop a nosebleed?
No.
Okay.
I've heard of pressing the roof of your mouth with your thumb if you have a brain freeze. But if you're trying to freeze your brain, I mean, that's a whole nother set of issues.
Josie, next time you have a nosebleed, find me or Wiz, and we'll take care of it for you. Please stop trying to freeze your brain blood.
Oh, I don't really think I'm gonna get him anymore.
Josie, roll a Constitution saving throw. I'm kidding. You don't have to do that.
You will, but
Do it.
I'm kidding.
God.
So, are we almost ready to go?
Yes, the short rest has come to an end. All of you have successfully attuned to your items. Nobody else gets as much fanfare, I'm sorry about your attunement, but you're all attuned. Those of you that are attuned to your items. Silas, though, the spirit sheath does let off a faint arcane blue mist after attuning to it, as the blade does disappear once and then reappear in the sheath upon full attunement.
Silas would actually admire the glow briefly.
Okay. As, by this point, all of the malignant energies that surrounded, the judge have vanished. As, what the heck is this? Why did that do that? Weird. Weird champ. As, let's see. As, she is pressing a hand against her chest, as you see her pump some healing into herself. Something one at that level. Jesus Christ, that's a big upcast. Just healed herself for 27. Fuck, she'll do that again. None of those left. 16. 27 is almost my max HP, lol. Yeah. As the judge stands tall and she appears to be a bit bloodied, but not at full HP. As she stands tall and is no longer limping or appears to be in any pain, as she goes, "Thank you for the fixing of my curse problem there. It appears I am all but healthy now."
It is the returning of the debt that I still believe I owe you for reviving me.
Not everything needs to be a transaction. I did not revive you expecting to be paid back. But thank you either way. Are you all prepared to get a move on?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Is the little girl all right?
She's as alright as she can be. I imagine she's out cold from a mixture of injuries and shock, but she was not hurt too badly.
What do we do with the boy?
Leave that to the church. We will take care of it when we sweep when we sweep the estate later. He will be given proper burial ceremonies.
Right. I guess we'll head out.
Okay. As she starts heading toward the door, all of you are heading out as well? Okay.
Yes.
We left the necromancer's thing somewhere, right?
Yeah, we left it on the downstairs.
Are you going to go fetch it?
Yeah.
Okay. As you go and you fetch the necromancer's staff, it's still there. As you take it. As you step outside, the sun has set a bit lower in the sky as it is a bit closer to nighttime now, after all this time has passed, as you begin heading back towards town. I have this learned. I have a notepad for this. Why am I asking dumb questions? I haven't updated this notepad, though. That's kind of cringe, I'm not gonna lie. So as you guys clear and make your way back, as you start to exit out from the battered gates, you're surrounded by woodland now, but you're following the road. As you do, Astrid and Josie, the two of you hear first what sounds like rustling through the bushes, near the left side of the road in the woodland, as if something is moving, like someone's walking, and you can hear the crunching of leaves and grass as if someone's walking, and then you hear a thud and more rustling of the brush and the grass, as if someone just fell to the ground or something has fallen to the ground.
As soon as Josie heard the first kind of sound, she would have stopped.
Okay, Josie stops. Do you say anything?
And pointed.
Okay. As Josie stops.
Like a pointer dog.
As Josie points,
Oh
as Josie points, Astrid, you hear the thud to the ground. So,
If someone's over there hiding, you're not very good at it.
get no response.
I would
Should we-
I would draw my dagger, and I want to try and stealthily go check where the thud came from.
Roll stealth. Okay, you feel pretty stealthy. As Carolina goes to approach, or any of you doing anything?
Yeah, I'll back her up. With my rapier.
You gonna try and
I'll,
stealth as well?
Yeah.
Roll stealth. Go ahead,
I'll
Beryl.
stand... No, it's okay. I'll stand guard. Just kind of looking out for anything coming from the bushes from any other direction.
Sure. You're very stealthy, Astrid, so.
I'm invisible now.
Anyone else?
I'm watching the others, backing them up from the rear.
I'm keeping my place, but having my sight focused on where I heard the noise, kind of prepared to be in action.
Fair enough, fair enough.
I'm watching Josie's back.
Sorry, I'm trying to pull up a document right now.
That's right, Isaac. Prepare to bleed on them. That'll scare them off.
I told you to track something.
These are those bears that he was talking so much about.
Shit.
I didn't know they were real.
Draw a circle quick.
Yeah.
Okay. As you begin to approach the two of you, walking up, as Carolina, who's leading between the two of you?
I guess.
Carolina, I think.
Okay. As Carolina leads, and you cut your way through the brush, moving stealthily, you begin to close in, and you start seeing something off in the distance. It looks like a humanoid figure, almost like it's laying on the ground, like maybe it's prone, trying to crawl. But then you start to realize as you get closer that your stealth was unnecessary, as this is very much not someone attempting to crawl on the ground, but this is either a dead body or an unconscious form of a humanoid on the ground. As you can tell from your distance, and you can see what looks like blood from where you are, you see red off in the distance leaking into the grass. As you see, they appear to be wearing what look like a fanciful robes, with one side of the robe having a green cape that goes down. They're laid flat on the ground, and on their side they have a weapon sheath. You can't tell if it's a human or an elf at this range, though. What do you do?
I would go back to like notify the rest of what like we see.
Okay.
Just to in case it is something bad, just so like everyone's in one place.
Okay.
There seems to be. Did you say if it was just a body? You didn't say male or female, right?
No, you can't tell from this distance.
Okay. I would say without like yelling. How far away was it from where we were?
It's about 30 feet.
Okay.
I can
Without
just catch it if you want.
What?
I
Oh
can
yeah,
cast
you
message.
can do that.
Yeah, Astrid will cast message to Josie because Josie also noticed it.
Okay, what are you gonna say?
Describe the body.
Okay.
Upon receiving the message, Josie would just say out loud, it's a body. A dead one.
I want to scan the surrounding area because we heard a thud, which means something cut this person down.
The thud sounded more like something falling to the ground.
Right.
Yeah.
Like a body.
Yeah, I mean, you can roll a perception. You don't notice anything around that could have done anything to it, but you do notice that the body is covered in varying degrees of wounds, and there is blood leaking from the wounds. So it could have been that he was already bleeding out, and he just fainted.
Okay.
That's a real possibility.
I
And as
would-
well, it's still... Some of the wounds are still bleeding. Pretty profusely as well, you can tell.
I would tell Astrid to just let them know that it doesn't, from the situation, from like where we can see, it doesn't look like a threat. It looks like someone who kind of collapsed and is covered in wound. If we should go
Relay
check
that?
like, as a group.
Okay.
Yeah, she'll relay that. Tell everybody to come over.
Okay. So you get the message?
Yeah, she'd relay it out loud.
Okay.
Isaac would
Paraphrased.
go to join then.
Okay. Are all of you going to join them, or
I want
Yep.
to turn the figure
Mhm.
over at the same time.
you're
Sure.
approaching the figure?
Yeah.
Okay, so you move close
I
to the
would,
figure as you get...
I would follow along,
Okay.
like behind her.
As you get up to it, as you begin to notice that this is an elven man with rather pale skin, a bit paler than you'd expect from most elves. Black hair that is shaved on the sides and tied into a ponytail at the back. And you can just faintly see through his flickering eyes that are just like barely flickering open occasionally, what look like bluish eyes as well. I do have a token to show you for the individual. I'll just drop it here, and then there you go.
Do I know them?
No.
Thank God.
Are you going? You said you were going to flip them over.
Yeah.
Okay. As you flip them over, it was on its back, so you flip him back. You flip him onto his front. As at least
Oh, no, sorry. Then I don't. If his face was up, I don't.
No, he's face down on the floor.
Oh, okay.
So are you not flipping him over, and you let you
No,
having him...
you said he was on his back just now.
No, I messed that up then. Okay, you're
Okay.
flipping him. You're flipping him onto his front, is what I meant to say. As you.
No.
onto his back so that his
I'm
front is
flipping him onto
It
his
doesn't
back.
matter. You're flipping him so you can see his face. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
God. I said it was one way, and you corrected me again. But I was saying we were doing the same thing. Okay. All right. As you bring him over onto the front, as you do, a loose necklace that is clear that it's supposed to be tucked in, generally, dangles out from under his collar. As you see a metal symbol that is emblazoned with red gemstones. As you see what looks like the symbol is of 3 inverted triangles arranged in a long triangle. And you can roll religion or history upon seeing it. As well, there is a large gash wound on his chest that looks like a slashing wound, as if he was cut by a sword or some other type of weapon, and there is a piercing wound on his stomach. The rest of you arrive about this time as she flips them, she flips him over, and you begin to approach, I imagine. But I have to give 1 second because she technically sees the symbol and she got the history off. You do recognize this symbol. You recognize this symbol for one reason and one reason alone, because this is a symbol that is banned in most of the nations on the continent, and assuredly banned in your kingdom. this is the symbol of Asmodeus, the king of hell, the lord of the nine, and the god of sin.
Well, that's not good.
I cast Spare the Dying.
Okay. As Wiz makes it over, you can cast it from a range, correct? So you would just get it off instantly upon seeing him. The wounds seal up but do not heal, and he is stabilized. As you all begin to approach, the judge approaches, and immediately her eyes lay upon that symbol. As she does not say anything yet, but she does look it over contemplatively as she appears to be thinking. Everyone else can roll history or religion, including you, Beryl. This is not someone that is exclusive to the prime material.
History or religion?
History or religion.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't recognize... I'll give you that you recognize that it is something that you've seen before, because the Fey creatures and those of you that took care of you told you that it was to avoid this symbol and to avoid people like it, as they are almost anti-Fey.
Oh.
Like,
Okay.
they are the complete antithesis. They wouldn't use that word, but they would... They essentially...
Everything we're not.
Everything we're not, yes.
Gotcha.
Okay. Isaac, Silas, Wiz, and Josie. Yeah, you recognize the symbol as well. Wiz, Josie, and Silas, for the same reasons as Astrid, it's illegal. However, Josie and Silas, you would also know from your land that the legality of it isn't really enforced. You would have likely seen people openly bearing this symbol, walking around in your land before without even being touched by, law enforcement, as the law is very rarely enforced there, at least for those that are in with it. And it definitely seems like the God of Sin is in with the law in Wizaria. Was it? No, Wizaria, not Elesivium, sorry. Isaac, I imagine you have read a bit more about, things like this, because you sought out, generally frowned upon or forbidden knowledge. So yes, you know this to be the symbol of Asmodeus, the god of sin, lies, and the king of hell, commonly known as the Lord of Nine. And you know that knowledge of that he is completely barred from worship in any nation, sorry, my brain just stopped moving for a minute. Any nation in Euclax, aside from Gomor and what was the other one? Sorovia, where they do not ban religious worship except for demons. They do not ban any sort of demon worship. But you also know that in most places they forbid knowledge of him from being shared. However, in Praxmore does not really do forbidding of knowledge unless it's something that can be used as a weapon. So they don't forbid it. So you've been able to study it before there.
Okay.
But you also know he's an incredibly lawful deity as well. So not generally one to have worshippers that go around killing people willy-nilly and chaotically.
Mm-hmm.
As he lays on the ground, unconscious, the symbol laying a jar out from his collar around his neck.
That's a symbol of Asmodeus.
What's our course of action here, Judge?
She looks at the symbol, lingering her gaze on it, and then looks to you and goes, "Do not wake him. I am going to place him in my custody. Worship of Asmodeus is very illegal in this land, so I'm going to have to do some questioning for him." Questioning of him. It's one thing after another. I had heard the rumors, but I would hope that they would never be something that involved me. As she walks over to, the corpse. Not the corpse, the unconscious man. As,
What rumors do you speak of?
There have been rumors flying around that I took as hearsay or panic from most people, saying that Knights of Asmodeus have been dispatched and have been scouring the land looking for something.
Do you know what they're looking for?
No! I did not know these rumors were true until this exact moment. And it's yet to be seen that the rumor is true. This could perhaps just be a follower who was in hiding.
Whatever the case, this guy kind of got his shit wrecked.
Someone did a number on him and the wounds look fresh. Or the wounds looked fresh. I guess there's some of them still there. She'd say wounds look fresh.
Are you sure we shouldn't wake him and ask him what happened?
I will ask him very thoroughly what happened in the interrogation. But for now, we cannot wake him. I cannot be positive that he will not attempt to silence himself, or do something that will force one of us to silence him.
So how will we go about bringing him back?
I can carry him. Do any of you have anything that I can use to restrain him? I do not have manacles or anything of the sort on me.
If you're good at tying knots, I have a rope.
Yes, we can tie him up then. Also, if someone can tuck that symbol back under his collar. We do not want the people seeing that and then possibly panicking over it. These people of Albington have suffered enough already.
I assume we'll go ahead and do that.
Though I suppose they don't view it as suffering by this point. Okay, as you tuck it back under. As Wiz, you're going to offer her rope?
Yes.
Okay, Silas, were you going to say something? I saw you on mute.
I wouldn't call it suffering either. They were rather celebrating the death of the noble.
Yes, I predicted that such a thing would be true. That is short-sighted of them. They may think that the Lord was a particularly unfair one, and I will not say he was fair. He was unfair. But they may end up with someone worse in his stead. Though I hope that's not true.
If I look around the area, can I see what direction he was traveling from before he fell?
You're gonna try and see any tracks or anything like that? Sure. Roll survival. You can see both a trail of blood and tracks coming, not toward the direction you're going, because it's heading into the forest, but it would be toward the direction you're going if you were heading into the forest. So say if you were walking back to town taking the forest path and not the road path, it would be that direction. So basically north.
Okay.
But you can see
So he was also heading towards town.
No, sorry, the tracks are coming from that direction.
Okay, so he was leaving town.
Yeah, he was heading toward the manor. My apologies there. My brain.
So we passed, like...
Yeah.
Okay. He was coming from the town.
I wonder. Perhaps he'd run into someone who attacked him. Maybe even... Kieran. I have no reason to believe that, but it could be.
Do the wounds look like the same wounds we saw on the last body that we suspected might have been from Kieran?
They're sword wounds, so...
Because we noted that those ones looked like they were with a particular better weapon.
These are pretty fresh wounds. And some of them are, patched up. You can roll a survival or medicine to see if you can discern anything. You're having a difficult time.
Too much blood.
There's a lot of blood, yeah. But you can at least tell they're a sword wound, and Kieran did use a sword.
Both the slashing and the piercing.
Looking at the piercing wound, you can roll a medicine check. I'll allow survival as well for this, because this is examining a wound. Wow, twinsies! That's so,
What's a body?
That's so cute. You can't tell. He was definitely
What's a
pierced.
wound?
He was definitely pierced by something, but you don't know if it was a sword.
Could have been a stick.
Could have been a stick.
We could have
we
even
don't-
been a boat.
We don't know who Kieran was hired by. Perhaps this group is who hired him, and there was a disagreement as Kieran did not achieve whatever he was meant to.
You'll recall that I told you I could smell the demonic energies on the ogre, correct?
Yes.
A demon and a devil would never work alongside. Asmodeus is king of the devils and lord of hell, where devils come from. Unlikely.
It also
It's
wouldn't
possible
make sense.
Go ahead.
It also wouldn't make sense that Kieran would, in his escape, try and off some random person, whether he knew them or not.
Now you, Ben. What were you saying?
Unless that individual, as the judge was pointing out, the devils and demons thing, perhaps the Asmodeus follower sensed the same taint and went after Kieran.
That is a possibility.
In any case, I think we should continue on.
Yes, I will
in
know
case-
when I interrogate him later. If someone wishes to assist me in tying him up, it would be greatly appreciated.
Yeah, I guess I'll help.
Okay. You're rather dexterous, you don't need to roll anything. You guys tie him up. And then she hoists him up and is carrying him, over one shoulder, like a criminal.
Boss.
Yeah. But she has both hands, fastened on him as she walks. As she gets up carrying him, though, she goes, "What a mess. I'm going to have a lot of work I have to do over the next few days." As she begins to walk back toward the road.
I guess I'll follow.
Okay. Anyone else doing something different aside from following? Alright. As you guys begin to walk back to town, I will roll one thing to see if this man wakes up during the time back. He does not. That was a grand total of an 8 that was rolled. So, as you all continue making your way back to the town, the half hour passes and you arrive out of the town and start approaching toward it. As you do, the same thing happens before, where the guards go to stop you as they come round the corners of the wooden barricades. They go, "Halt, you!" And then as seeing the judge, they go, "Judge Lloyd, we didn't know you were..." As she cuts them off immediately and goes, "Yes, I know. There's no reason to waste more time with any talking. We need to get on our way to the temple, please." As they just immediately back off and give a bow to her as she begins to walk through. And you all follow, I imagine.
Yep.
Are you all going to head anywhere different, or are you going to go to the temple with her?
Go to the temple.
Okay. As you head back to the temple, Along the way there, you arrive outside of the temple. As you begin to approach, the two guards at the front have the same reaction to seeing the judge, as she looks to them and goes, "One of you go fetch the captain of the. One of you go fetch the captain. I need this man detained, and I'm going to keep an eye on him until he can get here and bring him to a cell." And one of the guards goes, if you need the man brought to a holding cell, we could do," and she cuts him off and goes, "No, I need it to be the captain. I mean no offense when I say this, but I need it to be someone I absolutely trust." As, they go, "Right away, ma'am," as, one of them goes running off, heading toward the direction of the barrack. As, she looks to you all and goes, "I'm going to wait here on the stairs for the captain to arrive. If you wish, you can head inside and start briefing..." What was his name? Let me pull up his name real quick. Sorry, I don't have the name of the priest that you guys got hired by off the top of my head.
Alistair Heron?
Possibly.
Dwarf man with Arathis robes.
Yes, you're correct. As she'd go, "You all go in, and..." Oh, all my things are gone now because of how... Yeah, that's fun. God fucking... Okay, there we go, fixed it. That was almost bad. That was almost really bad, let me tell you. She goes, "If you could go and inform Priest Heron that I have returned. He is the one that would likely be in charge while I am away, and I imagine you were hired by him anyway. Or you could wait out here with me. That is up to you."
Think I'll, take this to that Raven Queen lady. Kinda heavy.
That would also be a good idea.
I'm gonna
I'll go with you, Barrow.
head to Lady Heba.
Okay. As you start heading that way, the rest of you?
I'll go brief the priest.
Okay. Is anyone going with Isaac to brief the priest? I didn't hear you, Ben. If you said something, you.
I'll go with him.
Okay, there we go. There was just no noise as you opened your mouth. Carolina, were you about to say something?
I'll stay with the judge.
Okay. Astrid, you were going with. Okay, you're going with Beryl. Josie.
I'll go with Silas and Isaac.
Okay, Wiz.
Sticking with the judge and the little girl.
Okay. Actually, thank you for reminding me of that. As she would look to that, the judge, and see the little girl. I imagine she's still on the disc. You would have ritually casted it again, I imagine. She would look to you and go, "If you would like, there is a healer's, quarters at the back of the temple. If you could escort her in and ask for directions from one of the priests, he could guide you there, and they could take her and start examining her and getting her any medicines and such that she may need."
Can do.
Thank you.
I'll go with Wiz there then.
Okay.
I will just say to the judge, you're good with the elven man by yourself?
On the rare chance that he wakes up again, I am in peak shape, so I would be able to swiftly detain him.
Alright, so then I guess I'll head with Wiz.
Alright, we'll do Wiz and Carolina first. As Wiz, you head in and you bring the disc with you. You're going to seek out a priest
Yes.
and ask for directions to the healer's quarters.
Yes.
Alright, as you would ask for such, and he'd go, "Oh, right this way, please. Let's hope we can get her some treatment." As he would guide you, heading toward the back. As you take a different direction, you'd go to the several chambers where there were the other temples to like the Raven Queen and such. You take a different direction there. You go like left instead of right, and you head toward the back. As you are head toward a double door that is made of a fine wooden material. It's a darkish brown, and there are studs in it. As the door swings open, and you see what looks like a sort of medical wing. There are cots and such about with people. Actually, there's no one currently lying in any of them. As you are let in, there's only one person in the room. However, what looks like a 1 second. Where is my thing? Okay, sorry. What looks like a small and stout halfling woman with brown, curly, long hair and greenish eyes, as she is dressed in sort of druidic-like robes, as she is not sat, actually. She is organizing some materials by the side of the bed, and she is making beds and such. As the doors swing open, she looks over, taking notice of you all, and seeing the little girl, and goes, "Wasn't expecting... Oh, my. Please bring her this way. Up onto the cot. I will do what I can."
He does as he's told immediately.
Okay. As you bring her up onto the cot, and she looks to you and goes, "Do you know what happened to her? What sort of injuries she's suffering from?"
Possibly sorry. Go ahead.
She was there during the attack at the estate. If you know about that.
Yes, I could recognize her as the lady, one of the young lady daughter. Whereas I'd say if you examined her, and I imagine you would have, because with your medical background, you would have noticed that on the back of her head there was a slight bludgeoning wound. It's nothing incredibly serious, but it would explain in conjunction with, that trauma and the actual mental trauma what could happen here. So you would have noticed that.
Looks like she's been hit on the back of her head.
Oh dear. Alright. I'll look her over. Hopefully we can get something to help her done. Thank you.
He nods, and I'll leave you to it.
She nods to you. Going to head somewhere after, or are you staying around in here?
I guess he'd try to go meet up with Beryl.
Okay, so you're gonna head to the Raven Queen area. Okay.
Mhm.
All right.
As we're walking, I just want to have in-game roleplay with Wiz.
Okay.
Just talk.
I mean, you don't have to announce. You don't have to announce that you want to do that. You can say it.
Okay.
You can just talk.
No, I didn't know if you wanted to go to the next people.
No, go ahead.
Right
You can
now.
talk. 1 second. I'm getting a knock on my door. Go on ahead.
I know when we first met, Wiz. I know, I believe it was Silas who, thought you were weird for a tabaxi with your stature. Now, I'm not saying anything bad about that, but I knew a tabaxi, and as far as your stature goes, it's not common. I just wanted to know if you, without overstepping my boundaries, if there's a reason for that.
It's dwarfism.
Oh.
Give me a second.
That's not very common in tabaxi, is it?
No, I was born like this. It's my mark. A sign of my sorcerer powers.
Well, I'm glad that we got that off the table. I was curious.
Well, I don't think I should be asking why you're purple.
I wouldn't be able to tell you because I never knew my biological parents.
Makes sense.
So I assumed, well,
Give me 1 second, guys. I'll be back in a minute. I'm gonna move the stream to a break screen because I have to look around for something in my room. So I'll be right back.
no problem. But yeah, no, well, I mean, if we're in break screen, I guess we should hold off
Yeah,
on.
shut up, Dan.
Oh, okay. The person who I considered a mother figure also had skin similar to mine, so I assume it's not completely uncommon.
Huh. And your Tabaxi friend? What about them?
He was, well, what are you asking about him? Oh,
Well, you mentioned them.
he was just, I guess, a family friend, to some aspect. He kind of, just gave us information, of like places that we were going and whatnot. He played, a flute, similarly to how Astrid plays the violin. He was a real friendly fellow. I haven't seen him in a few years now, but I hope he's doing well.
I hope so too. So what was up with that weird purple thing that Praxmore did?
Listen, your guess is as good as mine. I'm not very good with. I don't have a lot of knowledge on magical properties, but it did not look good.
I've dabbled in magic a little bit, but I've never seen anything like.
I don't know. I hope he's okay though. Like he really says he is.
He's not.
Well, yeah, but I hope he will be okay.
All
So
that
that he doesn't have to lie to us.
We just met. Give him
Yeah.
some time. All that screaming in the middle of the night seems a little disturbed.
Yeah. Can't say I've met someone like him before. But, he's an interesting one.
Wizards usually,
Everyone we've kind of been with have been pretty interesting so far. Beryl, sweet girl.
What's her deal? Is she a sorcerer?
I don't think so. I think it's just her background. Like where she's from.
You, guess when you live in the Feywild.
Yeah. I don't know much about it, but it seems interesting. Maybe we'd ask Beryl more about it.
Maybe so.
I'm so sorry about that. That was
okay.
not anything that was particularly needed to be done. I just wanted to get it out of the way. Not you guys. I'm talking about.
No, it's alright.
Okay, sorry about that. If you guys are still talking,
Chatting. We're just gonna, continue chatting, I guess, getting to know each other better. You can go to the next.
They've been beautifully passing the time entertainingly for your viewers.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're gonna move to Beryl next. Beryl and Astrid next, as they were heading to the Raven Queen room with the dear priestess. Let me pull up her thing. Where the hell is it? I love losing things for no good reason. Where's her name? Hera or Heba?
I have Hera, I think. Heba? No, wait.
Abba.
Heba?
Yeah.
Why am I getting all these names?
I think I had Heva.
It might be Heva.
I have Heva, Heva.
Okay, thank you. Sorry about that. Okay. I apologize for the delay and for all of that.
No worries.
As you approach the doors, are you going to open and enter?
I'll knock first.
Knock. A moment passes, like a pause, and then the door opens and you see Heva peer through as she goes, "Oh yes, you've returned. You don't have to knock. It's a temple. You come in. If you can just enter."
Oh, all right. We brought the thing.
Yes, I can smell it from where you are. Please come in, enter. As she opens the door.
And I'll enter.
Right. As she opens the door and steps in, she almost vanishes out of sight in the dark area of the room, but, she moves out and you can barely keep vision on her. Clearly an intentional that this room is a bit darker than others.
Mm-hmm.
As she goes, "The necromancer is dead. The foul creations of that beast is dead as well, then."
Yeah.
Good. Good, you have done well acting as the sword of the queen in this moment. Give me the staff, I will
Right.
put an end to this abomination.
Where should I put it?
Just
Do you want
set it down at the
All right.
base of the altar.
Right. I'll set it down.
Okay. As she approaches up to it. As she approaches up to it and draws a dagger from her side, as she will take it and she will slit a cut across her hand. And then she will take her hand and just rub the blood across the staff. And then kneel before the altar and begin praying in a very quiet voice, to which you can't understand what she's saying or the language she's speaking. If you're trying to, you can roll perception. One moment. Okay. So Astrid, you can hear it, and you can tell this is not a language you've heard before. It sounds strange. Almost, you can tell ancient sounding from just how she talks during it. And then she ends it with a rather abrupt sentence and slams her hand down on the staff again, exerting more blood onto it. As you hear a sizzling sound as the blood begins to sort of eat away at the staff, almost like acid, as it slowly is dissolved and destroyed until nothing remains of it. And even energy-wise, I think, Beryl, you're trained in Arcana. Astrid, are you trained in Arcana? So you can both feel that this is not just consuming the material and the staff itself, but it is destroying the energy even. It is an all-encompassing destruction. As she finishes and she goes, the deed is done. As she turns to you all, the two of you, and goes, I thank you greatly for assisting me in putting an end to that wretched fiend. Now those creatures will not be able to terrorize anyone any longer, and more importantly, they have been punished for the sins of breaking any cycle of naturality.
Beryl's just sort of like standing there and like smiling awkwardly, like, uh-huh.
Here, for your troubles, you have done me a great service. As she pulls out what looks like a necklace that she holds in her hand, and the necklace goes down. It is a silver necklace, and and it depicts an emblem claw of a raven, like a talon, at the bottom of it, made entirely of silver, and you can sense magic emanating off of it. This will give you some protections against undead, and it will also, as well, allow you to destroy them more efficiently.
I take it in both hands and I bow deeply.
Okay. As you take it, she pulls up close to you to, put it in your hands, and as she does, she stops for a moment, as she sniffs the air, and then pulls in a bit closer to you as she, sniffs a bit again, and then goes, do you happen to know of encountered someone that, has been resurrected?
No, I don't. No, everything went very well. I don't think I've ever met anybody that's been resurrected, actually.
As she looks to you, because she was sniffing a barrel at this, and then looks back to Beryl and goes, and you? You've never met such a person?
I'm not quite sure. What is a resurrection?
When they are unnaturally and unlawfully brought back from death to life.
I'm not too familiar with this world's laws, I'm sorry. I haven't really ever experienced anything like that in the Feywild.
It is a law in the Feywild as well, though I suppose Fey creatures are a bit different in their cycles of death. Fair enough. Roll a deception, both of you, though. Really quickly.
Fuck!
Hey!
What?
What?
Her eyes linger on Astrid for a moment, but she goes, very well. I will not pester you any longer. Thank you for your aid in the destruction of this foul magic. And may the raven's shadow follow you.
Right, actually, ravens.
Aye.
They, well, we saw a whole bunch of them following us at one point. Is that a good thing?
Where were you? Were you in the woods, perhaps?
Yeah, I believe so.
Ah. Well, you may not have been being followed, but you may have been being observed. I cannot say if this is for certain, but if it is, you are quite blessed. The keeper of the woods, the guardian, uses ravens as his familiars, as he is one of the sons of the Raven Queen. He watches over the forest, and the ravens act as his eyes and ears. Perhaps you did something of note to draw his attention. With you being so willing to help me dispose of this foul necromancy, I can't imagine it was Aya. Unless I have misjudged your characters.
You said it was the keeper of...
The wood. Keeper of the woods. He has been the guardian of Destin for quite a long time. Specifically the woods. I heard for a time he served as the court mage for the capital. A quaint idea. for a demigod to be delegated to such a pathetic position. But he is a kind and merciful being, just like our queen.
Right. Well, thanks for this and everything. We should probably go check on our friends now.
Yes, yes. I wish all of you well. May you bring the wrath of the Raven Queen to many other undead in your future.
Of course. And we will leave.
Okay. As you walk out, Carolina and Wiz arrive outside, meeting you two as you step out of the room.
Oh. Done already?
Son, we should probably check in on the others.
Sounds good.
So what are the four of you gonna do?
I guess probably head towards where the priest.
Sure,
was.
where Isaac, Josie, and Silas went.
Yeah.
Okay. Ben, are you here? I know you're purely up in the air right now.
I'm here, just having a breathing issue. I'm all good though.
Okay. Hope everything's all right. Sorry for making light of your breathing issue. Okay. As Isaac, Silas, and Josie, the three of you go and meet back up into the office where you had met your benefactor. As you go, I imagine you get a priest to bring you back toward the room, and you do so. That's no issue. And as you make your way over, the door is knocked upon by the priest, and now everything's fucked up again on the
Yep.
on the thing. Okay, awesome.
You just tell him to block it with something, because he's gonna keep doing that.
Yes, he is. I meant to tell him, but forgot. Let's see. Maybe showing non-video participants will fix it a little bit. No, it didn't.
No. Mm.
Cool.
That'll add 2 extra people.
I
Yep.
can see my house.
Well, with how fucked up it is, we're just gonna keep going despite that. Because I kinda want to. Just play. Alright, sorry about that, stream. I will be clear about this. I thought this was also something clear already, by the way. I thought we had discussed something like this, but
Yeah.
my bad.
I feel like we definitely have.
Yes. So the three of you enter as the knocking stops, and Alistair's voice calls out. He goes, "Come in," and the door opens, and the three of you enter. He goes, "Ah, you've returned, and alive at that. Good. I'm glad to see you're all alive. Well, I suppose if you were dead, you wouldn't have returned. You're back. What's the news?"
Well, got some mostly good news, a little bit of bad news.
I see.
Which do you want first?
I want all of the news, so let's just get it all.
Well, the judge is alive. She's
That's
here.
fantastic news. Where is she?
She's out on the front steps. We encountered a well, I'll let her brief you on that, but
Right.
a person of interest on the way back, and
Okay.
she's detaining him at the moment.
I see.
But she's alive, and
wonderful
so is the
news.
Lord's daughter.
Even better news. She was a young girl. I would be heartbroken to hear of her death.
The girl's
yeah.
sibling is not alright.
Say that again, Ben? I didn't hear that.
However, the girl's sibling is not alright.
Heartbreaking news. Rogue, real quick. When you have to BRB and, like, step away, if you could just, like, cover the camera with something or, like, put it so that you can't, it can't be seen or anything, because leaving does fuck up the stream and make everything go into different boxes and such. So if you could just find something like cover it with or do something like that, that would be helpful. Not your fault, it's been a while, so just wanted to get that out there if you could. Back to that though. That's horrible news. Did you acquire the deed? And the judge is alive, so even the deed is not fully necessary.
We did acquire the deed. We found it in the vault, and we took our payment as specified. But on to the bad news. That guy Dodson,
Paladin Dodson, yes, he's one of our finest. Oh well.
Yeah, about that.
What of it?
He was kind of the person who set up that whole ogre invasion onto the mansion.
Do you have evidence to back up that claim? That is a bold one.
He told us himself, and the judge can corroborate. He tried to attack us. He killed one of us, but we revived him. Don't tell the Raven Queen.
You did not need to tell me that much. That's a lot of pressure you've put on me for a conversation I'll have to have with Heather.
Well, we'll be just promise us that we'll be long gone when you have that conversation.
Why not? She will not harm you. She cannot harm you.
We will have discussed the better part of Valor later.
Well, nonetheless, I had known his faith had been wavering for some time. You'd tokened to me about this. But for him to commit such an atrocious act, I am shocked. How horrifying.
It was pretty atrocious.
Did you put him down? Is he dead?
About that, he kind of got away. I mean, we were in a bad spot. He downed one of us. And
you do not need to explain to me. It is fine. It is not your responsibility to bring every horrid criminal to heel. Are all of the ogres taken care of, and the half-ogres, or whatever else are there?
Yes, unless there's one hiding in the closet somewhere after we killed all of his brothers.
And the zombies and other necromantic creatures?
Gone.
Then this is a success. I thank you sincerely. The news about Kieran, that is disturbing. Especially him escaping as well. He is a strong man. He has incredible power. One of our strongest. He worked at the capital for a long time. He was part of the elite paladin order. He had been assigned here, and, well, I suppose being out here took its toll on him. Maybe he expected something better for himself.
The only good news attached to Dodson is what he was attempting to gain through his subterfuge. He did not gain, as it was apparently in the vault somewhere. We don't know what it was, but he didn't get it.
And I can promise you that will not end up in his hands, as I imagine the judge will likely be doing some sort of confiscation of goods inside the vault.
She said as much. But
yes.
Yeah, that was another thing, is that he needed somebody to get him in the vault. He couldn't do it himself, so he orchestrated this, or I don't want to say he said that he was hired by somebody else to orchestrate this plan in order to get into the vault.
If that is true, it makes sense. The key to the later estate vault is a bit unique. I apologize, I had completely forgotten about this. I should have told you before you left. Anyone who is not of a good leaning in life generally will not be able to hold the key. It'll burn them.
Interesting.
Oh, it was no problem.
Go on, I'm sorry.
I guess the better part of Valor isn't a problem for you, however. If I'm not articulating well, it's supposed to sound annoyed on the out front. But I would have whoever is capable here keep a close eye on your judge if you value their well-being, as Dodson, his words before the conflict made it fairly clear. He'll be after us again, and he will likely be after your judge, as we are all personal witnesses to his foul play.
Fair enough. That is true, but I can assure you that Mr. Dodson will have difficulty moving around and working in whatever circles he wishes to while he is within the land of Euplex. Our churches, our temples, connections go wide and deep throughout the entirety of the land. There are temples everywhere. The only place he could possibly escape to where we do not have much say is Gomor, and that is far away. He would have to make it across the entirety of Zelian before he could even make it to there. But nonetheless, I am happy to hear that this was a success and that all of you survived mostly intact with some remedies happening as well. May I see the deed?
Oh, right here. And I hand it to him.
Right. I'm sure the judge will be with us soon, and I will get her report as well, and then with her report we will be able to do something about the Dodson situation. By this point, the four of you, Beryl, Astrid, Wiz, and Carolina, make it outside the door to go into the room where they are. Are you gonna enter?
Yeah.
As you open the door and enter, as the three of you hear the door open, turn back, you see the four of the rest of your companions. As he looks up and sees, and it appears the rest of your compatriots are here now as well.
Silas, just an update. Lady Heather can smell you, so keep that in mind for the remainder of the time you're here.
Silas rubs the bridge of his nose and goes, more discussions of the better prevail need to be had after we leave the temple. Apologies, dear cleric.
And also that the Lord's daughter is in safe hands at the was it the healer, right?
Yes. Healer's quarters. All excellent news, yes. Do any of you have anything to add with your report? Anything you need to tell me?
We'll just need to talk to the Lord, or would it be lady? The lady judge, Lloyd, after she is free, has she intended that we were all to be granted something more than originally agreed upon, as she didn't feel it was enough of a compensation?
He looks concerned.
But you can get that from her.
And as he says, that makes not much sense to me. I don't know what the church could spare. We do not have much money. As he says that, the door does swing open as the judge steps in as she goes, I do not intend to take money from the church, Priest Heron. I, of course, am going to reimburse them with my personal funds. As he stands up immediately and goes, Judge Lloyd, it is great to see that you survived and that you are safe and well. As he gives a respectful bow, and she goes, Yes, I'm also glad that I'm alive. We will talk in a moment about my report on things that have happened. For now, can I ask that you go to the barracks and head to the holding cells? There's a prisoner in there right now. I perhaps want you to take a look at his necklace and what is on it underneath his collar. as the priest looks confused as he goes, "What could you mean about that?" And she goes, "I would ask you do this post-haste. I think you'll find that your skills will be necessary once you see what I mean." As he, again looking confused, just goes, "Okay, I will head that way." As he gets up and moves out from behind the desk and turns to look to you all again and gives a bow and goes, "And thank you all once again. I'm sure the judge will be able to arrange your papers and such." And she goes, "Papers? Irrelevant. I will ask them to explain before he can explain," as he goes and exits. As the door shuts behind him, as she goes, sighing, and then moves and sits behind the desk. As she goes, "Firstly, I thank you all for your assistance in this matter. I would not be alive, likely, if you had not come and intervened. And I certainly am thankful for that and intend to reimburse you for the proper amount rewarded for such an act. Secondly, what was the original agreed upon deal with Priest Terran?"
That if we were able to safeguard and return you, or bring back your proper documentation, as well as take care of the ogres and the undead, and get the deed to the house, or manor, sorry, that we would be able to take the one item each from the vault, but as well, those of us that are lacking proper identification for this part of the world would get a note of some kind from the temple here for us to take to the larger city, so that we wouldn't get caught up dealing with the same ordeal of not having IDs again and get fast tracked getting ones in that new town.
Some of you do not have IDs. Are you new to the land?
Very.
Yes.
Right. Well, we can skip that letter of recommendation or whatever part. I can give you IDs. And I will also give you a token from me personally as a judge that will show that you have been an asset and a friend to one of the judges. When shown, this will be able to give you shelter and other benefits such as food and such from the temples if need be. And even if they are able, sometimes monetary aid if need be.
I don't know if this matters, but I had it written down that the IDs and the note of recommendation were two separate things. We were already getting IDs as well as a separate note.
Yeah. She says that she's giving you something different from a note of recommendation. It's
okay.
It's a judge's. It's like an advanced version of a note of recommendation.
Why not both?
Is that you saying that or Josie?
No, that's me.
Well,
but
it'd be redundant. Basically. She goes, "Those of you who don't have identification, who are you?"
Hello.
Silas Verval.
Josie tries to raise her hand, but she's still carrying a large, heavy box of guns, so she just sort of lifts her arms a little bit.
Right. I can sort this out now and get your identifications made at this moment. I'm going to go through this one by one. I will ask you your name. You will tell it to me, the name you go by, and then I will ask you to swear an oath of responsibility, that you are responsible for your actions while you are within the Alliance of Praxmore cities, and you acknowledge that there are legal repercussions for breaking the law. Does that sound fair to all of you?
Yes, of course.
And I will start with you as she looks towards Astrid. As she lifts her hand up as magic begins to course through it, and then she forms what looks like a gavel made of what looks like a sort of silvery radiant energies in her hand as she holds it, and then pulls a silver platform out in front of her on the desk. Looks like a little silver plaque as she holds the hammer above it. As she goes, "Your name?"
Astrid Concordier.
Do you, Astrid Concordier, vow to acknowledge that you are responsible for your own actions within the lands of the Praxmorian Alliance, and as well
I do.
vow to follow the law and vow to take full responsibility in all legal action taken against you should you break the law?
I do.
And I shall grant you ID as ordained by Lady Erithis herself. As she slams the gavel down onto the silver plaque, and magic surges around, and a piece of paper is made in front of you that is handed to you that has official identification on it for you.
Wonderful.
And then she goes to do it to Beryl. We don't have to do the song and dance each time. Do all of you agree?
Yeah.
Yes.
Josie, you agree? Okay.
Yep.
All right. As each of you get a ID that is made for you personally, you can put it on your character sheet if need be. You probably should keep it on your character sheet, because if you lose it, then you know. As she goes, "Excellent. How long are you all intending to stay in the town?"
Well, we've actually got to be on our way pretty quickly.
How quickly do you need to leave?
Well, we're expected in, Wolford within the next few days, I think.
Are you moving by foot?
Currently.
If you all can give me another day, or more specifically, give me at least another night. Just this night, and in the morning I will have all of this prepared for you. I can have your rewards, and if you require if you require transportation aside from foot, I can acquire vehicular transportation for you, including a horse to draw the carriage as well. I will have to deduct an amount of gold from your rewards for this to be possible, but I will be able to do so if you are fine with it. If you wish to leave sooner, I can give you the gold and I can give you the judge's badge sooner, but giving me more time to prepare it would be more beneficial for me, and if you so desire, I can get you your carriage. I am intending to give you each 125 golds. If you wish for a carriage and a horse, I will be taking 25 gold from each of the rewards instead, so you would only all receive 100. Sorry, no. There's 150 base, and she takes 25 away. So, you guys get 125. Just a quick correction there. That was wrong.
I wouldn't mind spending another night.
I think that sounds like a good idea.
Yeah, I think that'd be better for all of us.
If everyone is fine with it, I'm more than fine with spending 25 gold.
You won't even be spending it, it's just being deducted from your reward.
Miss Judge.
Aye.
There was one other thing we were hoping you could help us with.
Sure.
Well, before we came to this town, we came across, a rather haggard scene. The alchemist Malron.
I know of him.
Yeah, he lives up in the hills a bit.
Yes, by the Padfoot Inn, about an hour away.
Right. Well, He's dead and missing his head.
You certainly know how to deliver news swiftly.
We were told to ask you if you had received any letters that he had been receiving from some stranger.
Oh yes, the threatening letters about the unicorn horn.
That.
Which was also missing.
Yes, we had received those letters, assuredly. He gave it to us and told us if we could do anything about it, it would be appreciated. I told him frankly that there's not much we could do. We can't track someone off of a letter, really. But he left it with us for our discretion. I told him he should consider not staying at his home for a bit and going somewhere else. But evidently he did not listen to me. What a terrible news. This land is going to shit. One war breaks out and all of a sudden everyone's going back to being murderous savages.
I think what Beryl was getting at is, would you mind if we took a look at those letters?
If you'd like. They're rather suspicious. And if the unicorn horn is gone and he is also dead, they are also rather incriminating.
I mean, we'll let you keep the letters. Obviously, we just need to take a look at them.
Like I
Just
said,
kind of
if you wish to, there are 3 letters. I will fetch them for you. Is there anything else you need to tell me? Any news you need to drop on for me?
It wasn't a savage killing. It was a very clean and calculated cut.
Apologies, my use of the word savage was not to imply a mindless killing. It was to imply that any sort of murder of someone is a savage murder. As in, it requires savagery to do so. But if it is a clean cut, that is also useful information. That means we were likely dealing with someone who does these things on a basis often.
It also had some very mysterious necrotic energy around it.
Fantastic.
We speculated that it could possibly be related to a cave that we also found that had runes and dead bears.
That got made undead.
I would love to be able to do a full investigation of the area learning this, but unfortunately we have our funds a bit cut recently because of the war. A lot of money is going into defenses for preventative measures of it reaching us. But thank you for this information. I will fetch you the papers, if you so wish to look at them. I will give them to them. You can take them overnight. I expect them to be returned when we meet in the morning.
Sounds more than fair.
As she goes and she walks out of the room. So you guys are left alone for a few minutes. Going to say or do anything?
We're
By the
like,
better part.
we're
Go
like
ahead.
in an office, right?
Yes.
Well, I know I haven't been in the office before because I didn't meet with the priest.
Right.
But like, where is this? Is her office, I assume.
You're not sure. It was you did when they came in. It was him in the office.
Okay.
It could be his office that she's just using at the moment for convenience, because you guys were here.
No, I was just wondering like what the office looks like. Other than that.
It's a square room. Not super small, but you know, about medium sized. It has what look like a single couch, that has a table in front of it, and then a couple different chairs in the room. There's a desk that she was sitting at that has several different implements on it, including the silver plaque. And then there are what look like cabinets that have what look like different varying alcohols in it and other drinks. And then there is a personal storage closet, it looks like. And then there is a large cabinet that you don't... It's not a cabinet, it's a... it's like a chest. It's like several chests that may likely contain official documentation and such. And as well, there is what looks like a banner that comes down on the back of the room that bears the symbol of Erithus. Ben, you had something to say?
Yes. Isaac and Astrid. I apologize if I sounded annoyed. The less people that know a secret, the better the secret is kept, especially when the knowledge is being passed in front of someone that works with a person that would take issue with it. That's
You're
all
right.
that I was saying.
I
No
could have been
offense
more
was
discreet.
intended by it, as what happened to me is not either of your faults. So, annoyance apologized for.
No, that's my fault. It's a habit of mine to be maybe too thorough.
Perhaps I was just insinuating that you smell bad.
If Isaac didn't already say what he did before you came in, which you had no way of knowing that he said, maybe that could have been passed. Isaac already let slip to the dear cleric that one of us had been resurrected. Just not which one.
It's true, I did not specify.
Apology accepted.
Sal just nod his head.
Anyone else saying anything or doing anything?
Josie has just started shifting her weight back and forth rather frequently because this box is getting very heavy now.
Okay. As the door opened... Okay.
I mean, if I saw her doing that, I'd be like, I would definitely mention, like, do you need help with that? It looks a bit heavy.
Nope, I'm in charge of it. I gotta carry it all the way there.
I mean, you could probably set it down until we leave.
Nope, that's how responsibility works.
You look like you're in a bit of pain, actually.
You know, sometimes that's life. Lord, my arms are tired.
I could hold your arms a bit. So you'd still be holding on to it, but maybe a little bit easier to... Wow, why am I slipping into this? You put me in a southern accent, god damn it!
You could carry her.
Southern Ireland? Is that what that is?
You know, I suppose that is a viable workaround. Look a bit odd, though.
Oh, only if you're comfortable with it.
No, it's okay. We'll be done here soon.
You could just sit on the floating disc, but I like Barrel's idea better.
No, I'll just wait it out.
So
I admire your tenacity, Josie.
So eventually the door comes back open and the judge walks in with a case that she offers out to one of you and goes, "Yes, this has the letters in them. There are 3 of them."
I'll reach for it.
All right, you take it. There's a case that has them in them. You'd have to open it up. It's made of metal.
Okay. Well.
I'll expect them back in the morning. Do whatever thorough look around you need to do for it. If you find anything relevant or interesting, let me know. This is technically something that would be our investigation, but can't be at this moment.
Do you mind if we copy them?
That is also fine. I am fine with that. Nonetheless, I have my work cut out for me. Tomorrow I will have to be doing an interrogation for this man. Hopefully, I'm trying to push it for tonight, so...
What time in the morning and where in town should we meet you?
You can meet me by the barracks. No, in fact. Where are you staying?
Sure, I don't remember the name of the inn.
The sour turkey, I believe.
Yeah.
I was gonna say the sour frog. Fuck.
I can meet you in the
Most
morning
frogs are
outside
sour.
of the Sour Frog with your transportation and with your reward.
Sounds fine by me. Good luck with your evening, Judge Lloyd.
Yes, I will need it. It is going to be a long one, considering I just came back from the brink of death. I'm not excited to have to do not only an interrogation, but also start an investigation for Dodson. Annoying. But nonetheless, unless you have anything you need to ask me or do, you are free to go about the rest of your day.
Well, I appreciate the help, and I'm glad that we could have been of service.
Would you like company returning that heavy object, sister?
No, I'm okay.
Sauce nods his head? Then I will be at the inn. I will see you there later.
Yeah. Yeah, sounds like a plan.
As we'll head out.
This has nothing to do with anything else, Judge, but I just wanted to let you know that the Lord's daughter was taken to the healing station, and she's in good hands.
Good. Hopefully she will be physically healthy in a few days. Maybe less.
If we're done here, then I would get ready to head out with everyone.
Okay. Anyone have anything that needs to say to the judge or anything to ask her? Okay. As all of you get up and you are heading to leave, where are you all going?
The sour turkey.
Tavern. Yep.
Okay. Josie, are you going to the tavern or are you...
No, I'm going straight to Elliot Hawkins.
Okay. Astrid, sorry.
Josie,
Okay.
may I accompany you? I wanted to speak to you, and I figure this is a good way to do it without everybody else listening in.
Oh, all right, but I don't think you should. Mr. Hawkins is a bit of a character, so I don't know if he's everyone's cup of tea, you know, 'cause you're all...
Oh, I don't mind waiting outside. I just wanted to make use of your time alone as we're walking over.
Okay.
Okay, so Josie and Astrid are heading to the Hawkins residence, while the rest of you are going back to the inn. Is that correct?
Unless I'm not remembering correctly, did we already establish that there was nowhere in town to buy incense and coal?
Yes.
Then yeah, I'm going to the tavern.
Okay. As you start heading back to the tavern, and you make it to there. Okay. I'll cover that in a bit. I'm going to do Josie and Astrid first. Are you talking on the way there, or are you going to be talking after? Okay, so go ahead. Two of you are making your way to the Hawkins estate. I mean, not estate. Sorry. Residence. Certainly not an estate.
He's upgraded. In the 16 hours we've been gone, he's upgraded. I realize we don't know each other extremely well, and that, well, the person you would probably talk to this about is sort of the subject of the matter. Uh, it must have been very confusing to watch your brother die in front of you and then suddenly not be dead anymore. I can't comprehend the emotional whiplash you must have experienced. And it would be awkward to talk about it with him himself. So I just wanted to let you know, if you needed to talk about it, that I'm always willing to lend an ear for that purpose.
Oh.
There's no obligation, of course, but I just wanted to let you know you could, if you wanted to.
Thank you, Astrid. That's very nice. I don't really know how to do that, but that's very nice. Today has been a very strange day.
Yes, it has.
But I don't think it's the strangest day I've had in my life.
I would have to agree with you.
I think I'm not going to think about what would have happened if it turned out to be a death for good instead of just a death for a little bit. And I think that will be good enough.
I think that's very healthy.
It is?
Well, I mean, it's almost like it didn't happen, if you catch my meaning. Obviously it did, but he's
Maybe
back.
it didn't.
No worse for wear.
Oh, yeah, that. I think it'll be okay. It's like you said, no worse for wear. Aster, can I ask you a question?
Yes, of course.
Did you think it was a trick?
No, I didn't. And I'm ashamed to say that, but no, I believed him wholeheartedly.
That's okay. He told me it was a trick beforehand, so I knew, but I wasn't sure what everyone else was thinking. I know it tricked Carolina.
I can't speak for any of the others, but...
Well, Carolina made it pretty clear that where she felt on that matter.
Yes, she did. I was surprised by that, actually.
Okay. Thank you for telling me.
You're welcome. And I think the conversation just kind of trailed awkwardly off there, and they'd walk in silence the rest of the way.
All right. Okay. As you make your way to the Hawkins residence, and you make it outside, you're going to enter and realizing music is no longer playing. Kinda cringe. So 1 second, sorry. Are you just gonna enter, or are you gonna knock, Josie?
She'll just bang the box against the door a couple times.
Okay. The door would swing open, and he would peek out and go, "Hey, you're back. Got the Baxter. Get on in."
She'll enter.
Yeah, right. Thanks for getting it. I'm glad you're back, and I'm glad you're in one piece. I would have felt terrible if you'd gotten yourself killed while out there.
This is the right box, right?
Looks like it.
thank
Bastard
God.
put a lock on it. You're just gonna put it on the table for me, would you?
Josie will struggle to heft it one last time and put it on his table.
Okay. As he goes, I'll be back with a key for it. As he walks away for a moment, walks back, he has a gun in hand as he walks up to the lock, points the gun at it, looks away, and just bang! The block blasts off. Outside, you would hear a bang as well. Astrid, just like a gun going off as he goes, yeah, that's a key for you. As he swings it open and he goes, yep, that's all my tools. As you see inside, you see a variety of different, like, tools that you'd use for, like, construction and stuff, you know, screwdrivers, other sorts of thing. And then you see, like, ammunition crafting stuff. There's gunpowder set in pouches and stuff, shell casings and such, parts to make. As he goes, bastard really robbed me there. Didn't want him dead, but, well, that's what happens. Thank you for getting this back for me. Now, I made a deal, and I will make good on it. I told you that I'd give you one of my pieces, and I also told you I'd help you about a bit. Now, why don't you set down that rifle of yours?
She will.
You tell me what you want me to do to this thing, because I'll upgrade it once for you, and I'll teach you how to work the tools as well for you to make some different upgrades yourself. But you tell me what type of upgrade you want. I can increase the strength of that shot of hers. I can make her a bit less likely to jam. I can make her a bit more accurate, reduce the recoil and such. Or I can increase its range a bit, add a scope so that it can, you know, look down the sights and such.
Can I ask if there's one other thing you might be able to do?
Sure, shoot. Don't actually.
I won't, but that's a funny joke, sir. Can you make it quieter?
That is a bit out of my pay grade, unfortunately. I can't reduce the sound of them. These things are naturally very loud. See? He pulls the gun, he shoots the gun again, up in the air as it goes off.
So there's a hole in your ceiling now.
Can he make it louder?
I'll fix it later. It's not a huge deal. I can't make
All
it
right, well,
outside.
I
But
can't make
outside,
it.
Astrid casts message and goes, "You're not dead, right?"
I'm not dead.
All right.
She said it out loud. I don't know if Astrid would actually be able to hear it.
If he didn't respond.
I'm glad to see you're not dead.
Me too, sir. All right, so if it can't get quieter, you know what? Might
Well,
as
let
well
me
make
tell
it
you.
stronger.
Let me tell you, I do know that it's possible. Some elven folk from Wizaria apparently are able to silence a gun, make it a bit quieter. I don't know the techniques. I've never been to Wizaria. I think it sounds stupid. I don't know what those elves are up to, making a gun quiet. What are we gonna do, make thunder quiet next? That's just ridiculous. But if you're interested in such a things, I know it'd be useful for stealth operations and such. If you can find maybe an elf from Wizaria, you could ask him. He might be able to point you in the right direction.
Thank you.
That's no problem, man. Alright, I'm gonna up its stopping power a bit. It's gonna hit a bit harder. I can't do a whole lot, because the gun itself, well, it's a fine rifle for what you made it out of, but it doesn't really do well for modification. You want my advice, you find a better piece or you start working on a newer piece. I can tell you where to get some better parts if you're looking to make a new gun. I'd start...
Yes, please.
Yeah. I'd start in one of the bigger cities if you could make your way over to maybe, let me pull up my map. 1 second. If you make your way over to Trayvon, Camelon, Praxmore, those work. There's also Brada if you're looking to cross borders over to the Zillion Empire. I'm trying to look for cities. 1 second. Is there No city. No city between Wolford. Where are you going in Wolford? So, there's also Brenn's, if you're headed in that direction. That place makes mighty fine weaponry. It's in Ravia. I know, So if you can make your way to any of those cities, they generally sell parts pretty well. But also, any of the larger towns might have them. Wolford could have a couple parts there, here and there. Might have a shop where they're selling guns. In fact, I think a store opened up in Wolford recently that's been selling pieces. So if you're in that area, you can check that out. But if you're looking for parts, you're gonna want to stick to the bigger cities. Generally, that's where the shops are. Now, for your rifle, though, what I can tell, without making this baby fall apart after shooting, it could only get about 2 modifications. So this will be 1 out of the 2 it can get. So whatever the next one you want to give it is, that's up to you, alright? I'll work on the upping its stopping power, and then I'm going to walk you through how to install a scope, how to reduce recoil, and how to make it jam less afterward, so that you know how to do these with your tools later. Let me get your new toy, though, first. As he goes to walk off. As he comes back a bit with a wooden box later. It is a carved, nice wooden box made of this bright brown wood. And atop of the box itself, there is what looks like a heart designed on it that has a bullet traveling through the center of the heart and coming out the side of it, with a popping sound, with a popping motion like it's a balloon as well. As he cracks the gun, cracks the case open, as inside you see a really advanced looking gun. Do I want to describe what it looks like or just say what type of gun it is? Let's see. Well, you see a pistol that is made entirely from its metal bits out of this golden metal. It is a gold color. It looks rather beautiful and intricately made. Its handle has a wooden grip on it that is nicely screwed in. There is a carving on the side of it by the trigger that is what looks like just a, basic looking design. But on the front of the gun near the barrel, in front of the chamber, the circular chamber that has what look like 6 chambers in it. It's a revolver. There is what looks like an engraving of a heart on it. It's made entirely of gold, the thing. I can give you a picture, or, well, can I? I can show you the picture later. As he goes, this piece is something I made for an apprentice. Something I made for an apprentice of mine a long way back. She wanted it to look exactly the way it does. Unfortunately, she's not with us much anymore. Died in a firefight. Well, that's usually how it goes with apprentices that make guns, so that's not too surprising. But, well, I held on to this as, a memory. But I think it's unhealthy to hold on to things from dead people, so I'm giving it to you now. It's also a mighty fine gun at that, too. She got some sort of enchantment put on it, but I don't know exactly what it does, so you gotta figure that out yourself. I just know there's magic on it. She called it the Bad Romance. And I'll let you see the gun now. In your equipment, you're about to see something. You're gonna see what it does. I pressed show to players by accident. That's not what I wanted to do. Oops. Get that out of there. Sorry about that. Josie, you should be able to see it in your equipment now.
Yep.
As there you are. As you should see it and such. And I'll link a picture later in chat for everybody. As he goes, it's a mighty fine weapon. Yeah, you can, take it, use it as I hope it serves you well.
Sir, that's an awful big gift.
Well, you did an awful big favor for me. Plus, like I said, it's sentimental, but it's not healthy to hold on to it. It's just gonna make me sad.
Well, I promise I'll do a good job.
I'm glad to hear it. Now, I'll start showing you the ropes. I'll start working on the stopping power here. Just follow my hands as he goes and starts working on the gun. So what you're going to get from this is he's going to up the stopping power. The gun is going to do an extra 3 damage on hit. So just add a +3 to damage for it. But as well, you're going to learn techniques of how to modify your weapon yourself. You're going to learn how to install a scope, and you've learned how to reduce recoil, and you've learned how to stop it from jamming as often. So those are some techniques you've picked up yet. So you have advantage on rolls to do that for a gun. Whereas if you tried to do it before, it would just be a straight roll, because it'd be a shot in the dark, maybe even at disadvantage depending on what you were doing. But now you have advantage on rolls to install a scope, to improve the chance of it not jamming, and to reduce recoil, making it more accurate.
Sick.
Okay. So you're going to learn
Are
that.
those the kind of things I would need to acquire parts for first?
Yeah.
Or is that the kind of shit
Well,
that's in a Tinkerer's Tools
For
thing?
a scope, you would need to acquire the parts for it. For reducing recoil, you would also need to acquire parts. For just stopping jamming, you would just need time and your Tinkerer's Tools. In your Tinkerer's Tools, you can figure that out yourself.
Cool. Thank you.
No problem. And this is going to take about an hour or two. So Astrid's just going to be waiting outside for quite a while there.
Just play her violin or something.
Okay, that's fine.
Panhandling.
And I'm realizing now, despite it saying +1 revolver, I don't have what exactly a revolver's damage is. Right off the top of my head, so let me give you that really quick, sorry. I always lose my document that I use for guns. Where is it? Give me 1 second. I'm so sorry. There you are. And I'll just tell you what a revolver does, because I should have, A revolver is 1d10. Okay? For your information.
Yes.
So you could write that down whenever you need to. Okay. So, you're learning that over the course of the few hours. And we're gonna go to the main group. I know James isn't here, but I could ask him what he's doing when he gets back. So you arrive back at the Sour Turkey Inn. There's not as many people in here now in the afternoonish. Maybe people are working and such. And as you enter, barkeep sees you all come in again as he goes, "Oh, welcome back." In fact, actually, you all are back. Mr. Dodson stopped by. He told me to leave a message. He left a message for me to tell you all.
Oh.
Yeah, it was a bit of a strange one. It just said. He just told me to tell you. If you don't bother with it, I won't.
It makes perfect sense.
I'm glad it
Did he,
does.
se-
No good.
did he seem full of crap?
I didn't think he was lying or anything, but I don't know. He seems to be in a rush.
Bet he is.
Well, that's
The problem
that.
the problem we went to take care of is no longer a problem.
Were you all? What problem did you take care of?
The mana?
Oh, did you all took care of the ogres?
Yes.
That's wonderful news. No threat for the town, then. That is fantastic to hear. But, no, just a message from Mr. Dodson. He wanted me to tell you that, if you understand it, good, because, I didn't get it. Can I get any of you something to drink or eat or, such? Or would you like another room for the night?
We will need rooms for the evening.
Fair enough. Scratch that. On the house, if you really took care of those ogres, then you can stay the night and have drink and food for free.
It's very generous of you.
Well, considering that I live here and that my business would have been obstructed from me having to leave or from me getting my head bashed in by an ogre, I think that this is a fair exchange.
I can see your point.
I look around the room real quick. Does he have any sort of does this look like the kind of place that ever has, besides when Astrid was playing music, someone that plays music in it?
There was someone in here playing music before on the night where there was on the night where the party was happening. Someone was loudly blasting music. In fact, there were several. There was several bards playing a tune.
What's the hottest beverage that you have?
We have whiskey. Mr. Hawkins, who lives in the town, is a fan of it, so we stock it up just for him. He usually buys out the entire stock.
What's the hottest thing besides that? I don't want to upset him.
Oh, trust me, we have plenty of it.
I'm wanting an entire jug or bottle or whatever it comes in.
Well, if you'd like a bottle of whiskey, we can provide it. I'll be honest with you, we buy extra because we assume that Mr. Hawkins is going to buy all of it.
I will take an entire bottle, and if you want some compensation for it, I don't mind paying.
Well, for the entire bottle, I am going to have to ask for a gold piece.
Talos gives it to him.
Okay. As he takes the bottle out. It's Wizarian make, if you'd like. As he offers it out to you. It's a bottle.
As long as it's the hottest thing you have, that's all I care about.
Seems to be a bottle of Wizarian honey whiskey.
So I was just gonna... Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna make a stupid comment.
Go for it.
Let's hear it.
I would say to the bartender, just so you know, well, they'd more likely eat your head off than bash it in.
Oh, thank you for that, information.
That's a thing, apparently.
I'm assuming he hands each of us that are there a key.
Yeah, he'd give you all keys for rooms.
So I was just gonna tip the whiskey towards everyone and go, "You all have good evenings. I'll see you in the morning." And South goes up to his room. He's gonna be drinking and reading.
Fair enough. What are you reading?
Same thing as last time. It's in my journal.
Acton's Guide?
Yes.
Okay. Roll me a Constitution saving throw to see if you're actually making any progress reading it, because you're going to be drinking a lot, I imagine.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to have to make 2, but this first one is a normal roll. The next one will be at disadvantage because of the amount of drinking. Okay, so you're going to get some reading done. Roll me another one. This one's at disadvantage to see if you get a good amount done. No. Okay, you're just going to get a bit of reading done. The rest of it is going to be a blur to you in the morning, so... You'll get,
that's fair.
You'll get about another hour and a half through the book.
Okay.
And then, you know, yeah, Silas will not remember this. Anyone else? Wiz, do you have anything to do inside the bar or inn?
I'd like a milk.
I can get you that. Of course. He would hand you a milk.
And he placed 1 gold on the counter.
Oh, please, unnecessary. Like I said, free of charge for the night.
Cool, but that's a tip. Just gonna leave it there.
All right. I'll take it.
Do you have something that's not as strong as the whiskey?
Do you have anything in particular you'd like in terms of type of alcohol? Or a drink, maybe?
No particular taste.
We have some wine, we have mead, we have beers.
Something a little stronger than that.
Alright. I can give you something of the sort then. She'd get you a drink. Are you wanting an entire bottle or just a glass?
No, just like a glass.
Okay. Isaac?
Where's Josie in all this?
Josie's
Is
not here yet.
She's not back yet. Okay.
No.
I will order a water and sit at the bar.
Okay. You're gonna walk over to the bar?
Yes.
As you're walking over to a bar, a gentleman who is sitting at it, because it's a bit packed, stands up as he walks past, accidentally bumps into you on the way out as he goes, "Apologies, my friend. Sorry about that." As he, accidentally bumped into you. Straightens you up and walks past. It's a gentleman wearing a completely yellow suit. Looks rather buff man, actually, as well. Bulky. Short brown hair, sort of muscular looking face and build with yellow-ish brown eyes as he accidentally bumped into you. He goes, "Apologies." Very fancy yellow suit. As he goes to continue walk past you. Do you continue walk to the bar?
I'll say, "Oh, no worries, friend. It's my fault as well."
And you go to walk to the bar still?
Okay. This, I don't know if this is Anthony being paranoid or if this would be justifiable for Isaac, but like Isaac did grow up in the city. Would he check his wallet or his pouch, his coin purse?
I don't think there aren't a lot of pickpockets in Praxmore, particularly where you lived, especially. So that's
Okay.
up to you to decide.
No, he's kind of an ignorant idiot, so
Okay. As you go
at
to
least
walk,
at least in some things.
as you go to walk to the bar, before you make it there, however, he calls out, "Oh, excuse me, sir." You turn back.
Can I help you?
As you turn back to look to him, he is holding your book in hand, your Book of Shadows, offering it out to you as he goes, with a smile on his face, he goes, "You see, you dropped this, and I thought it seemed rather important, so I wanted to make sure it got back to you."
My face would drop, and I would rush towards him and grab the book. Would he relinquish it?
Of course he would.
Thank you, thank you.
Of course, sir. Mighty important to hold on to things that are important to us these days.
Well, they say knowledge is power.
Yeah, some say that, but me, quite frankly, I say sometimes it's a blessing that some of us can't approximate most of the contents of our head. As he gives you a
What-
smile.
What do you mean by that?
Oh, well, knowledge is power, but there's also a cost to it.
I'm sorry. Do I know you?
No, never met you once in my life, sir. I was just stopping by in this fine establishment while I was on my way to my next venture.
Okay, well, thank you for
Of course.
picking this up for me.
You take care of yourself, sir.
I'll do that.
Gives you a smile. As he takes, so it looks like a hat, a completely yellow-looking, like thick-brimmed hat, as he puts it on his head, matching his completely yellow suit. As he smiles and walks past you, towards the exit.
Do we all see this man?
Oh yeah, you all saw him.
Okay. I'm just saying, I mean, if we all saw somebody with a completely yellow suit, that's gotta draw some
Oh,
attention.
yeah, it's a completely yellow suit.
Right.
Wiz walks up to Isaac and starts pulling him on his pant leg.
I'm sorry, Wiz. Yeah, what's up?
What a weirdo, huh?
Yeah, it's pretty.
I liked
Pretty,
him. He was very bright.
It's audacious to dress in all yellow, I suppose.
Yeah, that's a word. So, Praxmore, I was thinking, Silas and I are gonna share a few, magical secrets, and he taps his, book. Do you care to share?
Oh, I'm a pretty bad teacher, Wiz. I'm sorry.
Oh, you don't have to teach me. I'm pretty good at reading arcane sigils.
Yeah, that's the thing is that it's more of a diary than anything else, and uh, it's a little personal. Maybe later, maybe some other day. But
Okay.
I'm sorry that guy kind of got me rattled. Weirdly, I don't know, but yeah, no, I'm just gonna be at the bar. I'm sorry.
I understand.
I think we missed a part of what you said, Rogue. I think you went blank for a minute. I heard the I understand. If you said something after that, I didn't hear it.
I shouldn't have pried. Wizard's spellbook is pretty personal, but seen you do some pretty cool stuff, and I just thought maybe. Never mind. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, wizards are pretty cool. Oh, yeah, no, it's a personal thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I do one thing from my my room that would technically interact with Isaac? Not to do with what's going on right now, though.
Sure. Unless you're going to come
Just
downstairs dressed in a full yellow suit, you can do whatever you want. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, go ahead.
Definitely not. I would have just cast a message before getting drunk. To Isaac.
Me too.
I'm going to be tied up with some intense reading. Would you mind copying the letters word for word? I have parchment, and if you need it.
I could do that. I'll message you back. Yeah, I could do that. I have parchment.
Okay. Then Silas just go about his night.
Okay.
All right. So at the bar, while I'm sipping my water, I will transcribe the letters, and we don't need to do that immediately. But I will.
No, sure. I'll give you guys written versions of the letters next session. For now, I want to get you guys to sleep and then to pick up next week with Awaking. Okay?
Okay.
So you're at the bar doing that. Beryl, what are you going to be doing?
I'll also be at the bar. Mostly I'll just sit next to Isaac. And I like to read from the Myths and Legends of Euclax book.
Sure, you can start reading through it. Okay.
Learn up on some cryptids of the world.
Wiz, what are you going to be doing?
Sitting next to Beryl and occasionally sneaking a peek over at the book.
Okay. Carolina?
I would probably, once I get my drink, probably just sit by the bar by the others.
Okay. So, about 2 hours pass, back at the Hawkins estate, and Josie, you are taught what you are taught. and I imagine you'd leave after being thankful to the Mr. Hawkins. And Josie exits the building. As you step out, you hear the sound of Astrid's violin as you see her outside.
Thank you for waiting for me. You didn't have to.
I'm glad I did, considering I heard multiple gunshots.
That's pretty common. It's a gun house.
Oh, right.
Look at this! And she'll pull out Bad Romance and show it to Astrid.
That's actually quite beautiful.
I think this might be the prettiest thing I've ever owned.
Well, I guess you don't own yourself, so that makes sense.
That sentence does not compute into Josie's head. It goes in and like swirls around in a way that's confusing, and then it doesn't register. So now, and he made my other one stronger, so now I'm real sad. Although they're still really loud, so I don't know what to do about that one. I gotta find an elf. A different one. Than me and you.
Okay.
And Silas. Because those ones won't work.
Shall we head back then?
He shot a hole in his ceiling on purpose.
Oh. Why?
I don't know. I didn't know you were allowed to do that.
Jake, have they installed electric lights in this city yet?
No, not in this one.
Okay.
Actually, did this one have electric lights?
I don't know, but I'm scared of what's going to happen when he gets lamps in his house. He's not going to use the light switch.
Hey, go to bed!
Every lamp is one use only.
He goes through so many. Yeah. But I'm sure Silas and I believe Isaac's also interested in your gun before, so he might be interested in the new one.
Oh yeah. I've never had 2 guns before.
So where are you two heading?
Presumably just back to the inn.
Okay.
They did have light posts.
Yes, they did. Okay.
Yes.
Alright, so they do have light posts right now. As you start heading your way back, Astrid, your ring finger burns for a minute, and then you get a slight twinge of pain through your head that causes you to stop moving for a moment. To just take a breath in and stop.
Is something happening?
No, I remembered something from a while ago.
That can be scary.
Yes, I suppose it can be. She'll start walking again.
Okay. As you all make it back to the Sour Turkey Inn and you make your way in.
Is it night?
It's not nighttime yet, but the sun is setting.
Okay.
So you're gonna enter?
Yeah.
As you two enter, you see the bar is a bit more packed now, and those of you inside would observe that the bar gets a bit more packed as it gets a bit later. But it's not, anywhere near the first night you were here. As the two of you see Carolina, Isaac, Beryl, and Wiz sat at the bar, and anyone that looks toward the door after it opening would see Josie and Astrid step in.
Isaac will look up from his papers and be like, "Hey, Josie, I got you a water."
Thank you, Isaac.
This episode should just be called Everybody Loves Josie.
This is gonna be like the time you like tell your aunt, like, "Oh, this frog thing is really cute," and then suddenly you're like the frog person, but with water.
Birthday,
Okay.
Christmas, fucking every holiday.
I got
get
you a
gift.
gun keychain.
Yes. Guns
It's
and water.
It's a glass of
We're
water.
just gonna go for a bit longer, guys. By the way,
Yeah.
I want to get knights out of the way before anything else.
When I see Josie and Astrid, I would just inform. I would just say to Josie, Silas. Well, I wouldn't say Silas. Your brother, bought a bottle of whiskey and is in it drinking and reading. So just a heads up there.
Oh, okay.
I would say, Josie, you would know that Silas doesn't he doesn't drink anything that doesn't taste really nice, especially if it's not very refined.
Okay. Well,
Apple teenies only. Got it.
Carolina didn't specify, so presumably she can make some assumptions.
I would say, just check on him.
Oh, okay.
He's been through a lot.
I guess. She'd go upstairs then.
You're gonna go upstairs, go check on him. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, if Carolina says to, that must mean it's true.
So you're gonna go up to his door. You're gonna knock.
I do not know which door is his.
Would Silas be staying in the same room he stayed in the other night?
Assumedly.
So you know what room he stayed in the other night.
Alright, then that's what I would guess first.
You'd knock, or are you just
Yeah.
entering? Silas, you're
You'd
gonna
knock.
knock on your door.
How long have I been drinking?
This is about after the first hour and a half, so you're starting to get to the point where you are making less sense of the reading, but not fully, like, gone yet.
Not
Oh,
trash,
sorry, no, wait,
but
wait, sorry, no, this is 2 hours later. Yeah, you're not trashed exactly, but you can't you're not retaining any knowledge from your book by this point.
early stages of drunk. Gotcha.
Yes, early drunk stage.
Yeah. What is it? You're hearing that I'm
Yeah.
bombing
yeah.
at doing it, but you'd be hearing his southern accent come out, Josie.
Jesus Christ, are you okay?
I'm just reading.
Is the door locked?
Is it locked?
No.
Okay, it's not.
Alright. She's barging in.
Joseph barges in.
He's got a good chunk drink out of a whiskey bottle sitting next to him with a book on his lap that is no longer sitting the proper direction. It's like tilted at an angle, and he's normally very much so a straight, like very particular about how he reads.
You know, I'm no expert, but I'm pretty sure this is not the best way to read a book.
I mean,
At least not one you're trying to, learn from.
you might be right.
That's your business, though.
You can have some if you want some.
No.
You get your gun stuff.
I did. Do you want to see it? You're not allowed to hold it right now.
Yeah, of course I want to see it.
I'm a fool, but I'm not that big of a fool.
Show him the gun.
Yeah.
You see the bad romance.
I didn't know you could make a gun that was pretty.
That is a pretty gun.
He says it does something else too. Some sort of enchantment, but he didn't know what it was. So I don't know what it was. And I'll probably ask you in the morning, but I'm not going to ask you right now.
All right, I guess. I'll look at it in the morning for you.
Monkey. Sorry. I just... Fuck, I did it instinctually.
You did.
Ape brain.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
Carolina said you might not be okay. And I don't know why she would know, but
I mean, never seen me buy a whole bottle of whiskey before?
Silas, I've never seen a whole bottle of whiskey before.
Tastes like shit.
And why are you drinking it?
You know, maybe it doesn't taste that bad after all.
Okay, well, this is just confusing messaging now.
I just wanted to relax and read a book, and we got a cart going to the town. Pretty soon, everything's going to come together.
Yeah, sounds like it.
So,
So sometimes you don't have to
Aces.
spend all your day thinking.
hard for me not to be thinking, sister.
Is that why you're drinking the whiskey?
Does help me think less.
Well, maybe not all bad then.
You doing all right?
I think I am.
All right. You're doing all right, and I'm feeling this mentally numb. I think we're good.
Yikes. Okay.
No filter right now.
Nope. Josie's going to set the glass of water she got from Isaac down on the table.
No.
I think you should drink this instead and go to bed. And I think we're gonna have a better day tomorrow.
I think we are too.
And
Could you make sure? I'm sure he's fine doing it, but he did have the whole eyes, nose thing.
yeah, because it was cold. He already said he was fine.
Yeah, but maybe not. I mean, he already wears glasses. I mean, just make sure he doesn't need help with the letters, maybe?
Oh, you think he's going blind?
Maybe?
I don't think that happens when it's cold.
I don't think the cold makes people go blind either, but then again, I didn't think the cold makes people's eyes roll back in their head. But I'm learning lots of new things here.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you're okay and still here.
I am too.
And I promise next time I won't let that happen again.
Yeah, it wasn't your fault.
Well, still.
It's all about learning so we don't get stepped on one more time.
Right.
He's gonna just reach up to try to grab the back of her head or put her and just kiss her on the forehead.
Yes, you would.
Good night, sis.
Yeah, go to bed and drink that water.
Yeah.
What does Josie
He
do?
picks up the water and starts sipping it.
What does Josie do after that?
She would go back down.
Okay. Does anyone have anything of note they're going to be doing before going to bed?
Once a dark Astrid will do her thing and play
Yeah,
outside.
that's fine. I expected as much.
Once Isaac's done copying the letters, I would like to read them, but of course that.
Yeah.
Like,
I'll tell you what, when we start next session, next week, I'm gonna go over the letters and such, and I will give you guys time to roleplay in the bar about the letters if you wanted to do that. So in the past, but for now we're gonna get to people going to bed. So unless there's anything super important that anyone wants to do before going to bed. Anyone?
Nope.
Okay. As all of you head to bed for the night. And all of you have restful sleeps, aside from 2 individuals, in fact, though, starting with Mr. Isaac. As Isaac, your sleep is restful for the most part, but you are invaded by a strange dream, in fact. As your dream begins with you being stirred awake by the sound of rain dropping on a wooden surface and the feeling of rain dropping upon your head. As you awake, you hear the sounds of the ocean all around you, as if the waves are rocking you back and forth. You come to your senses and you find yourself atop a wet, damp wooden platform, wooden planks beneath you. You hear the creaking of wood and the turning of some sort of wooden device, and what sounds like the jovial whistling of someone in front of you,
I look around to see where the whistling is coming from.
As you look around, you see first over the side of the ship an endless black sea, continuing on and on as far as your mind can possibly comprehend. A storm rages above you as rain pitter-patters against the boat that you are sat upon. As you look in front, you see at the wheel of this boat a man in a yellow raincoat turning the wheel, whistling to himself jovially as he does. Before you could even take in him and speak out to him, your eyes are caught by a bright golden glow. As you look ahead toward the glow, entranced by it, you see what looks like a massive city before you, off in the distance, slowly approaching atop this ever-rocked boat. Spires standing unimaginably tall with what you have experienced for cities, giving off a bright golden glow off in the distance as you stare at it wondrously as the rain taps against the boat. Your eyes also go up for but a moment as you look to the sky and see the stars are black in the night sky tonight. Completely blackened stars. Turning to speak to the sailor manning this boat, you open your mouth but no words come. And then you feel nauseous, sick to your stomach. You've never been on a boat in this capacity before. The rocking continues, going over and over again. You continue getting more sick and sicker until you begin to vomit onto the ground. At first it comes out a normal bile from you, but then as you begin to vomit, it grows a darker color. Red, and then black, as a viscous black ooze comes out from your stomach itself, vomiting. And for a moment, that blackened vomit beneath you on the ship, you can see what looks like a purple glow, as if a crystal from within, as it begins to sprout like a flower atop the ship. Your mind is cut off by the ship rocking once again as you turn and see a massive wave coming to knock the ship over. And there is only darkness and the feeling of you being submerged before you awake in your bed in a cold sweat in the morning.
Okay.
Then, there is one more person who has a night that is not fully restful. Oh, that's not the sound I was getting. Sorry. Astrid, as you lie in your bed and sleep, you are awoken by the sound of what sounds like candles burning. Your eyes slowly gain focus as you see a small room. You can't see much around, but you can see what looks almost like an altar set atop by candles. At first, the only thing you notice is the sound of the burning candles, and as well, the light as it slowly comes into focus. But then, slowly, your ears are filled with another sound. It sounds like the pained sobs of a person. And as well, the forced back sniffles of another one, as if someone was trying to hold back from crying. As your vision gains more clarity, you see what look like 3 individuals standing before an altar. They look familiar to you. 2 of them are huddled together, both with their hands in their palms, as if they are crying or trying to hold themselves back from crying. This gross sob coming from one of them. Behind them, there is an individual that you recognize, and you recognize all 3 of these individuals. The 2 huddled together look like your parents, and then the one behind looks like the very man that gave you the ring that sits upon that finger, as he appears to almost be consoling them. Your vision, reaching full clarity, can make out one more thing before you are sent back into the blackness of sleep. Atop this candlelit vigil altar, there is what look like flowers and a portrait of you, as if mourning the death of you. And then you are plunged into blackness and slowly awaken, your face wet with tears dripping down your face. And that is where we call session for the night. Let's let me get the music off. I hope you all had fun. Next week we will pick up. All of you have received the benefits of a long rest. Next week I will have written up versions of the letters that you will all be able to take a gander at, and we will do whatever roleplay happens in the bar regarding the letters, and then get back to the current timeline in the future where you guys have awoken the next day. Does that sound fair?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. I hope you all had fun. I'm going to say goodbye to the stream very quickly. So
Goodbye.
I will be back in but a moment. So turn off my camera. Now everything's fucked up. I will talk to you guys in a second. If you guys want to say goodbye, you can.
Bye,
Bye,
stream.
Okay. Be back in a minute. Where's Just Me? Hello, this is Just Me. Thanks for watching tonight. Those of you that enjoyed watching along on this little adventure, please tune in next week where we continue where we left off and see where this little adventure will take our party. Hope you all had fun. Thank you for watching again, and good night.